What's good, gamers? My name is Aiden, and in today's video we're going to be doing our yearly anime ranking. This is something that I always look really forward to. We got a whole lot of shows to cover today. I think it is 51 in total, including shows that got split cores. So that's a lot, and of course I'm going to be joined by my co-host Plasma, as always.
Hello, hello, hello. Excited as well to be doing this. We did it a lot earlier than last year. I think last year we were really late with it, but we're only 10 days into the year as we're recording, so that's pretty good.
It sure is. Yeah, last year, both of us were just busy as shit during that time.
Yeah. Luckily I got a slot in, so.
Yeah, in today's video, I'll be busy as shit because I watched more this year than I had for any years prior. And then Plasma had a bit of a break year this year.
I've been saying that for like 2 years now, but yeah, I've just not been watching as much. I don't more manga, stuff like that, but I'm slowly getting back into it, to be fair.
2026 is a big year, so like you kind of have to get back into it.
Yeah, of course.
Like 2026 is shaping out to be like one of the best, probably, will probably end up being the best overall year for anime since I started watching seasonals back in 2021, I believe. 2025.
Because of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, am I right, chat?
Oh god! I think that 2025 was a decently strong year, but I don't think it... Overall, I don't think it's quite as strong as last year, if I can remember correctly. We did get the single greatest season I have ever witnessed in real time. Summer 2025 was peak. The other seasons were just pretty good. Fall was a bit on the weaker end. Otherwise, really solid year overall. I'm not really complaining. And as always, we got the wheel. I love the wheel. The wheel makes me come every single time I see it. Just,
There we go. This was an abnormally long amount of time without a cum joke. And yep, there it is.
We had to have the cum joke in the intro eventually. We all know that I have the sense of humor of a 9-year-old. Anyway, how about we spin this wheel, see what we're gonna be yapping about first. This will be an interesting one to start with. Once Upon a Witch's Death. Let me put it in, find it here. It is definitely F tier, chat. I'll just have like this extra tier here for like stuff that we haven't for stuff that's I'm still discussing. One thing that I probably should have elaborated on earlier is how this tiering system works. Double S is 10 out of 10. S plus and S minus are variants of 9 out of 10s. The A's are for 8s, B's are for 7s, C plus is 6s, C minus is 5s, D is just like bad stuff like 4, 3 area, F is like bottom of the barrel. I don't think either of us are gonna have anything to put there, but I had it just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Once Upon a Witch's Death I quite enjoyed. I went out of it feeling like it had some amount of missed potential, like, because the concept is genuinely one of the best fucking concepts I've heard for any anime I've seen. The main character is just turned 17 and she finds out that on her 18th birthday she's going to die due to a curse. So she needs to collect 1,000 tears of joy from different people in order to create an elixir that'll make her immortal. Which, that's a really cool idea for a story. It has so much potential for like really, really sad, heartfelt moments. In terms of like trying to be like, I'm just gonna say like trying to be like a budget Violet Evergarden, right? I feel like it does it fine. None of the individual stories of people that she helps are especially memorable in my opinion, but none of them are outright bad. And my personal favorite aspect of the story though is that Meg might honestly be one of the stronger characters of this year. I really ended up enjoying her as a character. and a huge part of that has to do with the fact that she is voice acted by the same VA as Bocchi, and she gives the character so much life, so much expressiveness. Like, it genuinely my favorite voice performance of the entire year. Like, it's not even close.
Wow.
And and personality-wise, I think Meg is a super fun protagonist. She's very spunky, very energetic. She comes off very immature in a very charming way, and her entire character growth is based upon growing and developing, because before she goes on this journey, she never really had to deal with any like major hardships. She was given life relatively easy due to being raised by one of the show's stronger characters. And through going on this journey, though, she has to discover what makes her unique, outside of just being the apprentice of this older witch. And I enjoyed like the ending where she sort of finally started to get a better idea of what that would be. So yeah, I think it's a really good show with a lot of really good ideas, but I also feel like it doesn't hit as hard as it needs to, and a big part of that, of course, there's some aspects of the writing that lead me to believe that it could have been executed better. But for me, the main sticking point is the production values are just not that good. Like, you could tell this show's on a budget. It's this show doesn't look awful, but it definitely looks rough. Otherwise, though, I did like this one. I'm split between B+ and B-. In particular, I think it was episode 6. I particularly remember for being like genuinely one of my favorite episodes of the year. That's one single episode did a fantastic job at advancing her character, and advancing her arc in a way that I really liked. But the rest of the show just never really went up to that level. Oh my god, what the fuck did you change your PFP to?
Waiting for you to notice it. I'm changing it back.
What did I rate it on Annie list? I can't remember if I rated it a 7.5 or a 7. Okay, I ended up going 7. Yeah, so it will be B- on this list. Which feels slightly low, but remember, I still like it. They're just, I think there are better shows overall, for me to be ranking later on. Anyway, wheel time, baby!
Literally the one right next to the one we just talked about, Vigilantes.
Yeah, the wheel of names is just like that.
Yeah.
My Hero Vigilantes. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who's seen it out of the two of us. Is that right?
Yeah, I just listened to the OP, that's it.
Yeah, which, like, the OP fucking slaps. Not only that, but it's also super stylistically cool looking. Now, in terms of animation, MHA Season 8 definitely blows Vigilantes out of the water, but I think I prefer how... I'm gonna lower the volume of the music. But in okay, and well, where was I? But oh yeah, in terms of like the vibe, in terms of like the general art style and look, I vastly prefer how Vigilantes looks over base MHA, because they have more fun with the colors. They're actually using like comic book onomatopoeias, you know, like actual superhero comics, which that's fucking cool. Which like
sounds like it.
MHA will do that every now and then, but like Vigilantes is like harder into that style. It's like more properly committing to like the Western superhero aesthetic, which I mean that's like the main inspiration for MHA as a whole, which I think that's cool. In terms of actual plot stuff, the plot itself isn't super important. The main thing that's important is just vibing with the characters, and the characters are fun. I like Koichi a lot. The idea of someone who wants to help people even without legally being a hero or getting any money or recognition from being a hero, just being a hero because he genuinely wants to help people. I like how the show starts with him thinking his quirk is pretty much useless, only for him to discover more things with the quirk and realize, oh, this is actually a quirk with a lot of really cool utility that can do a lot of cool stuff. And then the other characters are fun too. I don't feel like Popstep adds a ton to the story, at least yet. She just kind of feels like the tsundere deuteragonist to ship the main character with. And that's kind of all she boils down to, I feel. And then Knuckle Duster. I love Knuckle Duster. He has a super... he has such a bizarre sense of morality. Like, he is a violent man, but he still wants to... He's trying to deal with, like, this drug conspiracy, because his family's been impacted by it. And the most interesting thing about him is the fact that he's quirkless, and yet he's still able to beat up all these guys just because he's that ripped. Which, like, that's such a cool idea for an MHA spinoff.
Yeah.
Again, in terms of actual plot, you're not going to get a ton out of Vigilantes, but in terms of characters that you can vibe with really solid animation, and really fun, my brain's turning off.
Style?
Yeah, in terms of, like, just the general, like, fun level and vibes level, Vigilantes really hits it out of the park. For me, this is a B+. I thought it was really fun. Like, it's not great by any means, but it was way better than I was expecting it to be, which I will give props to what I assumed would be an unnecessary spin-off, but actually ended up impacting the world more than I thought it would. Wheel time, baby. Spy Family Season 3. It's just more of the same. Spy Family is a fun comedy. I kind of wish it was more of like a suspenseful political thriller instead. I think it'd be a lot more interesting as that. But it's a comedy, and as a comedy, it's solid. I like it. It's good. Season 3 especially, though, just kind of feels like we're going through the motions. Every other season of Spy Family I would put in, like, B+, maybe A- when I was first getting into it, but it sucks, because, like, what Spy Family is pretty good. What I want Spy Family to be is so much, and the idea of what Spy Family could be in my head feels so much better than what it actually is. I don't know, though. I still liked it. I feel like out of the 3 seasons that exist, though, this is definitely the weakest one. Like, it's, again, it just feels like we're going through the motions. Gonna rename this.
I've heard that the mangaka doesn't even particularly like this story much. They're just doing it because it sells, but...
That honestly wouldn't surprise me that much.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch all of Season 1 because I frankly got bored of it, but I'm not surprised, to be honest.
It is a gag comedy that moves its main plot extraordinarily slowly. That's just kind of all it boils down to. I have nothing to talk about with Season 3. It's a very nothing season for me. Again, it's good, it's funny, it made me laugh, but, like, yeah. Wheel.
Maybe no.
Yo, it's Game Center Girl that I spelt with RE to piss off the Americans. Yeah, Game Center Girl I thought was a pretty solid slice of life comedy. I don't have any especially strong feelings on it. Honestly, the main appeal this show has is just the novelty factor. The language barrier is a cool concept. Getting to hear Sally Amaki utilize her bilingualness with the character, with the main character, was really fun. It's very much a novelty show, and for that, I enjoyed it. Not a whole lot to talk about here. It's just decent enough for what it is, which is just a simple slice of life comedy that helps you relax after a long day of work. Not much to talk about here, but it's good. Wheel time, baby. For ones I don't have nearly as much to talk about, I'm trying to go through them fast just because we have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
ReZero Season 3, though, we'll be yapping about that for a while. I fucking love ReZero. For me, I'm putting it in the S- tier. I love ReZero so much. And to give a general idea of why I love ReZero, I'm actually going to talk about just like my general thoughts about all of it real quick before we get into specifically Season 3. Yes, I am that much of a ReZero fan. So what I love about ReZero is the fact that it's a deconstruction of the Isekai genre. Main character Subaru thinks that he's going to be going into it with all the typical perks that Isekai protagonists get, but instead he gets put into one of the most brutal worlds in all of anime. And the reason why Return by Death is such a cool mechanic is because even though it does technically make him immortal, Subaru is also someone who has to go through a shitload of suffering every single time that he dies, because dying's not fun, right? Which means that Subaru, unlike most Isekai protagonists, is forced to mature and change, which is important because even though the first half of Season 1 presents Subaru as a fun and charming character, and the second half we get to see, oh, this guy is like really flawed. He has a lot of issues of self-hatred, a lot of envy, a lot of pride, and throughout the first season you see him slowly overcoming that. But by the time you get to the second season, you realize he's not completely over these things. He still has more trials to face through. So Season 2 is the character study season, where we get to really appreciate his character. Season 2, Episode 4 is honestly a contender for my favorite anime episode of all time. It is that good.
Even better than Oshinoko Episode 1.
Okay. I say it's probably like my third or fourth favorite episode of anime episode of all time.
Fair enough.
Because Clannad Episode 18 is my favorite episode of all time. Clannad After Story Episode 18.
Yeah.
Where the flower field scene happens. I guess the final episode of Anohana is also one of my favorite episodes of all time. It's hard to pick. But yeah. Anyway, I like shit that makes you cry, obviously. So Subaru is pretty much fully developed for the most part by the end of Season 2. So Season 3 is basically just this really satisfying conclusion of that, where you get to see Subaru as this badass leader type who's actually competent at what he does. And it's fun. He only dies like 3 times in Season 3 compared to like the 10 billion times in prior seasons. Which is directly meant to represent his growth. My favorite part about Season 3 is the fact that it's a season where we get a lot more exploration into the villains. Personally, my favorite of them this season was Regulus, and Regulus is my favorite villain in all of ReZero, which is a huge part of what makes Season 3 so strong for me. Because Regulus is everything that Subaru would be if he was given like these OP cheat skills and shit, right? Because Regulus is not only an asshole, right? But he's a fucking loser. He is a fucking loser. Because of the fact that he had all this shit handed to him without having had to actually go through the trials and tribulations to mature himself and better himself as a person. So having Subaru fight someone like Regulus after he went through his character development is genuinely genius fucking writing. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of that, there's other strengths for the season outside of just Subaru. This is the first season where the side cast gets to really be developed and explored. I know that there is one episode of Reinhardt and his family drama being the first time in the entire series where Subaru didn't even show up in an episode.
Oh, wow.
Which is, like, that is an extremely oh shit moment for me, because Subaru is so important to ReZero, right? Like, he is ReZero. Yeah. And then there's characters like Garfield. Yes, they do have a dude who can turn into a big orange cat named Garfield, and it is great.
You're fucking lying.
I am not lying. It is so real.
That's crazy.
Garfield, honestly, is one of the most compelling characters in Season 3. He feels like a more standard shonen protagonist, but oh man, they execute it so fucking well. He is consistently compelling. And then they explore other characters too, like Priscilla, who we just think is an asshole in season 1. We get to see more of a sympathetic side to her in season 3. And then there's other villains as well. Wrath is really fun. And then Lust Capella is voiced by Aoi Yuki, one of the best vocal performances of the entire year. Like that scene, that radio scene monologue that she does is some of the most visceral voice acting I've ever heard. It's so good.
Aoi Yuki is just like the goat.
True, Aoi Yuki is just the goat. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else that I want to mention without just going into a complete giga yap, because I can go on for longer. I don't feel like I should though. I got my point across. I love ReZero.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
at this point, I feel like a cuck because I'm just listening to Aiden talk.
Yeah, you've been sitting in the cuck chair the entire time. From talking about good stuff to talking about mid stuff. Nihon Yokoso, Nihon e Yokoso, Elfa-san, is mid. It is so fucking mid. It is everything mediocre about an isekai mixed with everything mediocre about a romance. It is a nothing burger of a show.
I mean, the name kind of gives that away, honestly.
Yeah, like there's cool ideas in this one. I like the idea of the main character being able to switch between the real world and the fantasy world, being able to do that with the elf. There's some legitimate thematic potential with an idea like that. Main character, because like it's implied that he uses the isekai world as a means of escape, but they don't really hone in that enough. Like, in my opinion, his character would have been fantastic if he acted like Hikigaya, for example. Someone who's just fucking bitter and hates everything, right? A character like that would have worked so well for a premise like that. Not only that, but it would have been a really funny contrast with the elf girl too, right? I typically hate like Hinedere, ex-Dere type romances, because I just think they're so played out, but that would have worked perfectly for a show like that, like this. But like, no, the main character is just a boring nothing burger. He's just like a normal ass dude, who kinda is bored of real life and kinda likes the fantasy world a lot. But we don't really get to explore that a whole lot. Then the elf girl is designed to elicit very basic responses of, oh yeah, I guess she's cute, without really having any real character outside of that. It is just like, it's so mid. It's so fucking mid. Like, it's a nothing series. Later on they go into exploring how the main character is like a coward for not like fully exploring his romance with the elf girl, like being into him. It doesn't really feel like the elf girl is into him necessarily as much as she's into the idea of Japan itself. Like the idea of the main character's character arc being to learn to like Japan more through how excited the elf girl is, would have been a really cool idea, but the main character has the same opinion on Japan throughout the entire series, or at least a very similar opinion of it, which is, oh yeah, I guess Japan is alright, I guess. It's like, no, make him fucking hate Japan until he learns to love it, right? Right? Like, that would be a character arc, that would be interesting, give me fucking something to chew on! I do not like the show.
I'll give you something to chew on, mate.
Oh, man. Like, he gets to chew on elf girl titties every night. Have him chew on a character arc this time.
That's hilarious.
Give him something! I mean this deadass, completely unironically. Replace the main character with Hachiman Hikigaya, and the show goes from a 5 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10, literally just off that one change.
That implies Hachiman goes to Origairu, and we don't want that, so...
True. Put Hachiman in a show that's actually good. I'm honestly considering D tier for this one. It is that much of a nothing burger. But I do like cute romance shit, and the show does get into that a bit near the end, and I'm like, fine, I'll give it a 5 out of 10 instead of a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Are you happy? I do not like the show. There we go.
Just leave it SS.
Takopi? More like Taco Peak, am I right? Alright, jokes aside, this is like one of only 2 SS tiers on this list for me. Takopi is one of the greatest works of fiction ever created.
I mean, yeah.
It's one of the few ones that both of us saw, and like, oh man, it's so
Yeah.
good. Like, I actually
It's
already
very
made
good.
a full-on video about it on my main channel, which took me a while to actually get to making. But like, what I love so much about this series is its exploration of childhood trauma. How if we don't give children the proper support and care that they need, that they're going to turn out to be fucking crazy people, right? And like, I love the message that it tells. I think it does a really good job at executing that message through some of the best animation and probably the single best directing of the entire year. It's so good. I don't have a whole lot I want to elaborate on, because again, I do have a main channel video about it, and I do want to save my breath. So, if you have any thoughts...
I agree. Honestly, I agree with basically everything Aiden said in that main channel video, and like, he says more than I could say off of the top of my head. But I will say that what's it called? Takopi uses suspense in some of the best ways that I feel like I have ever seen in anime. Especially in like the first couple episodes, right? It's genuinely like incredible how much emotion I can feel off of what isn't like much. Even just like one scene can make me genuine. That first episode made me feel things that I could, like, it was similar vibes to Oshinoko episode 1. Like, I was genuinely shell-shocked by it. And yeah, honestly, if you want to hear more of my thoughts, just watch Aiden's main channel video. I basically agree with everything he said.
No, I actually added a little bit more, like, I never really went into, like, my initial response watching this show. Watching this show made me feel like I was rereading Poon Poon, which, if you haven't read Poon Poon, please do. It is so good. It is basically it's very similar to Takopi.
Yes, Dad, I will do that.
Yeah, but yeah, when I was reading through Poon Poon, though, I had, like, this consistent, like, shaking in my heart the entire time, especially close to the end. And when I got to, like, this big oh shit moment, my like, heart dropped, my jaw dropped. I was traumatized for the next week. Watching Takopi felt like that happened every single episode. Like, in turn, due to how insanely good the animation and directing is. Like, it's such a beautiful show.
Yeah.
Also, that's not to diss Poon Poon either, though. Poon Poon is also a masterpiece. Except for the occultist shit. Why was that even in the manga? Anyway, wheel time!
Wheel. Woohoo. For fuck's sake, you see them between 2 skills I've watched. What the fuck?
So, backstory, I fucking hate Rent-a-Girlfriend. Rent-a-Girlfriend is the worst piece of fiction I have ever watched in my entire life. This is important context, because I actually like the Shiunji Family children.
Kill yourself.
To the point where I am a manga reader. I am unironically a manga reader.
I hate you.
of the Shiunji family children.
I hate you.
Is this show good? I don't fucking know. Is it entertaining? Hell fucking yeah it is.
I don't like you.
But I like you. Anyway,
I don't like you. I love you.
give me that pussy. Anyway.
So, actually.
So from a plot synopsis perspective, this show is basically just modern day modern day domestic girlfriend. So many girlfriend titles, SMH. Like, it has the same sort of like shock value factor to it, right? Main character realizes that his five sisters aren't actually related to him. All 5 sisters eventually come to the realization that they want to fuck their big bro. And personally, I think in terms of execution, the show takes itself extremely seriously, to a point where I'm actually surprised by how seriously it takes itself. Anytime
I thought it was just gonna be like better girlfriend is. No, this is serious. Come on, you're giving me conflicting things. You just described to me that shit story, and you told me it takes it seriously. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am fine with this approach though, because every time it does try comedy, it's not good at it. I laugh extremely easily. I did not laugh a single time watching this. It is.
Oh God.
The comedy elements are not funny.
Yeah, because you laugh at literally, you're a child, you laugh at anything. You literally, someone could say, haha, poo poo, and you fucking laugh.
See?
Exactly. You laugh at anything.
Oh, I hate how easily I laugh at shit. Yeah, because, but yeah, in terms of, like, actual ideas that it's getting across, I think that it actually does have some cool ideas. I think the perspective that I think is the most interesting is the idea that all 5 of these characters have different ways of reacting and coping with the idea that they're not related anymore. There's Kotano, she is the youngest. She's also my favorite due to the fact that she has the most unique means of interacting with the main character, in the sense that she's always liked him, which creates its own form of drama. And then there's Minami. She's just coping through focusing on like her own personal life and all of that stuff. So that when that ends up getting intertwined, though, she ends up falling in love with him. When he is like goes like all the way out to help and protect her, right? Which I should probably stop for a second to talk about Arata himself. He is surprisingly a fantastic harem protagonist. Like, it is completely understandable why these 5 main characters would want to fuck him. He's good looking, according to my gay friend anyway. I thought that message was hilarious. Anyway, when I received it, because I'll share panels from the manga constantly, because of course there's a lot of shock value shit. That I go on, holy shit! I'm going like pog face at the end of every chapter. Again, this is an extraordinarily entertaining story. And then Oka is the one who's the same age as the main character. She's like the tsundere, right? So she like is in denial for a while, until yet again Arata comes and helps her out when she needs the help most. And then the two older sisters I don't have as strong of an opinion on. Seiha is consistently just kind of boring throughout. And I feel like her arc of learning to love Arata is just like kind of played out. What I liked about her character is the fact that she was actively skeptical about the idea of having this romance drama occur, and then she ends up falling into it just like anyone else. It's boring. And then I kind of feel a similar way of Banri. Banri, I think, actually has some of the most fun interactions with Arata. Like, she's consistently teasing him. Like, their banter's fun. No, it's another situation where I don't feel like By the way, Seiha and Banri falling for him don't happen in season 1, they happen in the manga, but I'm just kind of talking about everything right now, because fuck it, why not?
Damn. Spoilers.
My...
But then again, who's fucking reading this manga?
Oh yeah, I mean, because everyone wasn't predicting that every character would fall for him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Even though that's literally what the premise is. Where my issue comes in is the fact that, with the exception of Kotono, every character ends up falling into the same exact realization, which is I want to fuck Oni-chan, right? Which
Codman, that's great.
It's a very it just feels very boring to me, to have it end up like that. I feel like this is definitely like a missed potential kind of show, because there's a lot of complexity that can be explored with the different reactions to the idea that they're not related, right? And I feel like they kind of tap into that, but also kind of miss a lot of potential conflicts with that, because if every character wants to fuck him, then what inner family conflict can you really add on to that? Because everyone feels the same way about him. It just kind of becomes a generic harem story by the end of it. It doesn't... That unique edge it had kind of doesn't really exist when it comes to a certain point, which I think is disappointing. However, this is still a really fun manga. I'm like consistently pog-facing at the end of every episode and every chapter. It is a very thoroughly entertaining story because I love trashy bullshit like this.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh shit, both of our SS's taken out this early. I think that Reze-arc is the best anime of the year.
Fair enough.
It's very, very close between it and Takopi, but I think that narrowly I prefer Reze a bit more.
I prefer Reze over Takopi as well.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's top 3 anime movie, because like, come on, I think it's only being competed for me. It's only bested out by A Silent Voice and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, like,
which we have the exact same ranking with that.
Yeah, it's like, this is incredible for how much it does in such little time. Obviously, very much improved by the fact that it has a season 1, so it doesn't need to do as much in the movie, but it is incredible. And although I haven't watched it, one thing that's good is that anytime I hear someone say that the Demon Slayer movie was better than the Chainsaw Man movie this year, I know never to listen to their opinion ever again, because let's be real, come on now.
I also know that they probably haven't watched Reze-arc if they are dumb enough to have that opinion.
No, I've seen some people who have watched both and say Demon Slayer was better.
I mean, they aren't allowed to have opinions then. As simple as that.
Yeah. Everyone can have an opinion. Shut the fuck up!
We need to keep having opinions.
Yeah. Where do I begin? I mean, this movie was just at a surface level, incredibly entertaining, because Chainsaw Man is incredibly entertaining at its core. It's very funny. But the storytelling in this arc, oh my god, it was incredible. I'll let Ada talk. Do you want to talk a bit about it first?
Yeah, I can talk a bit about it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, so the idea of Chainsaw Man as a story is that the appeal of Chainsaw Man is the fact that Chainsaw Man is like the anti-shonen. Denji, unlike every other shonen protagonist, is someone who lacks ambitions, which means that in order to attain the power of the Chainsaw Devil, which Makima wants from him, she needs to basically Maslow hierarchy of needs his life all the way up to the top, so that way she can attain the chainsaw power.
No spoilers, please.
Oh yeah, right. I won't delve any further to to Makima than that, but so essentially the aspect that Reze-arc tries to tackle is that in season 1 we establish the third part, which is family and friends, right? Because Aki and Power are basically family to Denji, right?
Yeah.
And now this movie adds in the romance angle by having him fall in love with Reze and having to tackle those feelings along with the feelings of loyalty to Makima, and the fact that even though he knows that he can get closer with Makima, that his body just can't stop him from wanting to see Reze, and it is, and I think that's beautiful because Denji of course is a horny bastard, right? But what Denji really wants, and what Denji keeps on being manipulated toward, because Denji gets manipulated with sexual desire constantly, right? Most of the villains in the series are women. Partially because Tatsuki Fujimoto is just into that shit, and I love how openly weird he is. But also because that just makes the most sense for Denji's character development, right? What Denji wants in his life and needs in order to be happy is to have a loving relationship with a woman, when most of the women in his life are taking advantage of him wanting to have a loving relationship. And of course, in the second half of the series, of the movie, we find out that Reze is yet another one of those women. However, I personally believe that despite Reze needing to have taken out Denji for the sake of her mission for, taking the Chainsaw Devil, she did actually love Denji, and a huge part of this is the fact that she can't activate her power when she's in water, her bomb devil, right? In the pool scene is the two characters being at their most vulnerable. They are literally stripped bare inside this pool, showing literally every part of themselves to each other. There's complete trust, complete bonding between these two characters. It is the best scene of the movie because it shows how strongly both of these characters have fallen in love. And the tragedy of it, though, is the fact that both of these characters have chosen different paths. Denji to pursue Makima's goal, while Reze is pursuing the goal of the Soviet Union, right? But my second favorite scene in this movie is the one where Denji, despite all the manipulation he's faced from Makima, still chooses to ask Reze if he can see her again. Despite both of them knowing how unlikely it is for that relationship to persist due to the targets that they've put on themselves. So, when Makima ends up killing Reze for finally having that hope that she can be happy, it's a tragic fucking scene. Like, this movie is fucking hilarious, it is beautiful, and it is tragically dark and sad at the same time. It is, for something to qualify as one of my favorite anime of all time, it needs to elicit basically every single emotion you can get out of me. Chainsaw Man Reze-arc does that with flying colors. One of the best fucking things I've seen.
I want to add on a bit more to that manipulation of Denji, because I think it's such an overlooked and underrated part of Chainsaw Man in itself. Because, what's it called? If we're being honest, Denji doesn't really understand what love is at the beginning of the show. I that's what I believe. He doesn't understand what love is. He's just heard of it and is horny and wants to fulfill that. But at the beginning, Makima kind of implies what love is, and Denji has that full sense of love and blind loyalty to Makima. We see that in the, obviously, first season with Dengi. But that thing's explored way more during this movie, where he's constantly, thinking, oh, do I love Makima? Do I love Reze? And, as you said, he does go to see Reze again. And when he sees her again at the end, he sits in that cafe. Obviously, Reze gets killed. That, I genuinely didn't expect it. It was such a bullet. I thought, like... And she just died instantly, right outside the cafe, mind you, while Reze could see the back of Denji's head. It was heartbreaking, and I think that's the main takeaway of the movie. It's a very heartbreaking movie, but even that was like 2 fight scenes, right? Let's say 1 fight scene, really, but it did so much. Like the way it started, the way it was built up as well, with us thinking, oh, what's gonna happen to Reze, and then finding out like she's the bomb devil. Oh my fucking god. Even minor stuff like what happened with the Angel Devil and Arki, that was really touching as well. You know, like he's always been kind of like the nonchalant type, you know, but in that moment he saves that life at the cost of his own. And mind you, he already lost a lot of his life from that contract with the other devil with the sword. Mm-hmm. He lost a lot of his life from that already, but he still held his hand out, did everything he could to save him, right? Mm-hmm. And that to me was so fucking beautiful. And that was in the middle of a fight, something that you wouldn't have even expected to happen. That being so powerful just happening was very, very touching to me. That even in the middle of a fight, they will still do their... Fujimoto will do his best to give the spotlight to other characters and have very beautiful moments like that. But then, right after getting your heart ripped out, you know, by unexpected shit. And also, just want to say, that Shark Boy is funny as fuck. I love him.
Mm-hmm. I love Shark.
So
I love Beam. Beam is great.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Like, yeah, because I love how they handle Aki in this movie, because he doesn't do a whole lot, but but that one scene where he saves Angel is, like, all that they needed him to do in this arc to progress into the next step of his character development, and they fucking nailed it. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think they kind of saw that, oh, we only have a movie to do this, so, and we want Denji's romance to be the main part of this, but at the same time we don't want... I think we should have, you know, Archie develop himself a bit, and they do it with, like, they don't spend too long on it, but it's impactful as hell, which I think was such a great decision. It was very perfectly balanced in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Like, for and other things that I want to mention as well is two things with the Reze fight, which I think make the fight scene really good. Of course, the fight scene is amazing from an animation perspective. It's just so much fun to watch because it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. But from storytelling perspective, there are 2 elements to the fight that I think are extremely clever. The first one is the fact that Reze thinks that she's fighting Denji because she needs to get the Chainsaw Devil over to her home country. But the reason why Reze is fighting so passionately isn't because of that, but rather because Denji hesitated in wanting to choose her, because she did fall in love with him. So the entire fight comes off as her emotionally venting out the frustration of Denji's indecisiveness, and it's so beautiful because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way the fight ends is some of the most clever fucking writing I have ever seen this year. God.
Yeah.
Reze taught Denji how to swim in the pool scene, and Denji learning how to swim is what ultimately defeats her. Like, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. There was a very full circle moment, and I think, like, her trying her best to be, you know, a normal girl and falling in love with Denji, and I think it was such a great decision to, you know, cement the fact that, yeah, although it was part of a greater goal, she really did love Denji, and it wasn't in that cliche way that a lot of other shows do it, you know, like, yeah, she stuck to her, and like, sorry, I'm I'm getting fog in my brain. She did love Denji, and she takes that out on him, as you said. It's very emotional, which I think is very perfect because the whole of this movie was an exploration about love, which is like one of the strongest emotions one can have. So having that lash out be so violent is very in tune with what the movie was about.
And like having that having all that build up to give context to both Reze and Denji's feelings in this fight, it makes the fight so much better. Like, it's not only a fight that looks beautiful, but is also one of the most well-written fights I've ever seen. In terms of like actual like fighting mechanics too, it's just so much fun. Like, the power system gets used in a lot of really creative ways. Just good shit.
Also, just what I say, music in this was fucking amazing too.
Best soundtrack of the year, easy.
Yeah,
Kensuke Ushio can fucking stab a fucking piano key up my heart, like, and my ass too. I'd probably moan.
He could turn into Kanye West, and I'd still love the soundtrack.
You mean Ye though, because before becoming Ye, his music was actually good sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We love Ye though, greatest artist of all time. Anyway, what's the?
Of course.
What are we talking about now? The Lenticulars. I think the idea for the Lenticulars is really cool. It is a romance series by Studio Trigger that is clearly on a budget. It is 8 6-minute episodes.
Oh wow.
And so in order to like developing, it is such a unique looking show. I gotta put images of what it looks like on the screen because
I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Like it is one of the most visually distinct looking shows of the year. In terms of animation, it is basically a slideshow presentation, right? It is it's very limited. But I think that it wears a style on its sleeve in a way that is really cool. I love the way this show looks, and despite having less animation than a lot of anime that released this year, it looks better than like half of them in my opinion. because it knows its style and it commits to it. I love how the characters look like paper crafts, very South Park-esque. And they're behind like these like hand painted backgrounds. It's a really nice style. In terms of writing though, I have mixed thoughts, unfortunately. I wanted to like it so bad, but I have mixed thoughts. Now, one thing I think it nails is like the character interactions are genuinely really solid. Every character honestly talks like a real person. Despite the episodes being short, they are still able to commit to having like these long, awkward pauses to really emphasize the drama that's going on with these characters. And the drama all feels very casual, right? It's very deadpan, which suits the art style a lot. The idea is the main character confesses to this girl at the end of the first episode. It's the cutest fucking shit ever. I actually would have put it in the A tier off of just that one episode alone. If it was just a 4-minute short film, I would have loved it. Unfortunately, my opinions on where it goes afterward are because the main couple doesn't really get to do anything in the show because most of the runtime is centered around a friend conflict. So one of the main character's friends used to date the main girl, so they were keeping that a secret, but when the main character finally finds out, he feels like all disappointed and shit, and he's like, I know that there is no logical reason for me to be upset about this, because I know that you love me and not him anymore, but I still feel upset about it. I think that it's a cool idea for a conflict because it feels very realistic. Sometimes human emotion is just dumb, right? You'll start feeling shit, that isn't logical, but you still can't help yourself from feeling. I like how the show tackles that idea. If the show wanted to tackle this idea, though, it should have been longer, because this romance just feels so undercooked. It doesn't even feel like a romance series. I have very mixed thoughts. I think what it does execute well, but I really wish it was a lot more than it was. And as such, I just can't. I can't be too positive on it. I don't feel. Sucks. I wanted to like this one so bad.
Yeah.
Wheel time, baby. Oh shit! You finally get to yap.
Oh shit. Shield Hero Season 4.
Where did I even put it in this?
What can I
think
say?
It's here, right?
Yeah. Shield Hero Season 4 is like... D tier. C minus. I'll give it C minus. I'll give it C minus.
Alright.
Here's the thing. The thing that pisses me off about Shield Hero is that Season 1 was genuinely pretty decent. Like, for Isekai, it was pretty damn decent. And I was excited. And when I was watching, I think there were 3 seasons. I don't remember, to be honest. But after Season 1, this show fell off a fucking cliff. So, the story, to give you the gist, is about a guy who gets isekai'd while reading a book. And it's of this world where there are 4 heroes: sword, bow, spear, and shield. Now here's the thing, all 4 of them got isekai'd to the same nation, but they're kind of racist, I'm not gonna lie. They don't like shield heroes. They don't like the shield guy. They fucking hate him. He basically gets accused of rape in the first episode, and like a bunch of shit happens, and you know he has to hire a slave who he doesn't treat like a slave, don't get me wrong, but he does all this stuff to try and make a living, and he's not a righteous hero, you know, he's trying to fucking get by, he's trying to make his pee, because you know he has to, he's got the shit stacked up against him, so he'll save people, but for a price, kind of thing. But here's the thing: all these people who did get isekai, all the other 3 heroes, they played a game. That's how they got isekai. So they knew a bunch about this game, but this guy didn't know shit. That's all you gotta know for the story. They honed it really well in that first season. Like, I'm not gonna act like it was a fucking masterpiece or anything, because it wasn't. But it was pretty good. And I thought, damn, I could get behind this. But it just turned to complete shit. The story fell apart. There's nothing. It's a nothing burger at this point. Like, there's hesitant on, like, if there's another season, I probably won't watch it, especially since, like, the animation is shit too. Like, the animation is nothing to write home about. I think they were doing like fucking PowerPoint transitions at one point in season 4 in one of the first episodes. It was horrible.
Damn. That's crazy. I'm actually gonna look real quick. I need to look at something real quick.
Like, I'm not completely sure, but like I was really into it season 1. I'm so disappointed. It's like, okay, I really do try to give it a chance from then on. Like, I really try and think, come on. That's why I watched season 4, because even at the end of season 3, like, season 3 has nothing to, you know, write home about. And it kind of, season 2 and 3 felt like Demon Slayer, but like, they have absolutely no story. Like, the only thing that kept me going were the character development from season 1 was done really well, so I was invested in the characters. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a watch. Season 2, it wasn't great. Season 3, it wasn't great. Season 4, I fucking give up. I don't give a shit about this show anymore. I won't watch anything else.
Yeah, if I ever watch Shield Hero, I'm only watching the first season and not bothering with the rest.
Yeah, don't. It's a waste of your time. Like, there's
Yeah,
like I'm on AniList right now, and I see the reviews. One person says on my mom's life, Kyogre, Ninetales, Charizard, Pidgeot 2 shiny Zeraors. What?
That's probably a more entertaining review than anything that happens in the 4th season.
They basically just describe the characters as Pokemon, and they're fucking spot on. That's literally all there is, and I give up.
Yeah, like I was checking on any of this too.
Don't get me wrong. They tried to do story. It wasn't good though. Like they did like they go to a place where they're meant to see him as a savior, because the whole thing is like in the lore, the shield hero has always like treated demi-humans incredibly well when no one else did. But then like there were some people who weren't welcoming him and stuff, and they do like a revolution and stuff, but it was really shit. Like I don't know what to tell you, it's really fucking shit. Yeah.
I was checking through the studio too.
In detail, bro. In detail.
Damn, that bad. Okay, got it. Yeah, like Cinema Citrus can make really good stuff. What I mean by that is they make Made in Abyss, and Made in Abyss is fucking gorgeous. I think that's like the only genuinely beautiful thing they've made though.
They did My Happy Marriage, which is alright.
Yeah, first season of that looked really good. People complain.
We'll get to the second season in a bit.
Yeah, people complain about second season production. I didn't notice it that much, but we'll talk about that more later.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're talking about it now! What a fucking coincidence. Now, you and I have extremely different opinions on this season. Mine are more on the brief side, so I'll just get mine over with first. I think this is C- tier. This shit is so fucking boring. Like, first season, for context, I love first season. First 6 episodes in particular are like one of my favorite romances ever written. Second half of season 1, not as strong, but they kept somewhat of a decent plot going on. I feel like it was kind of losing the plot a little bit, but like, whatever. I'll still bear with it. Season 2 will probably be where it like really picks up, right? Season 2 is fucking so fucking boring. It is just fucking boring ass military shit. It's like, I don't give a shit about that. I give a shit about the romance. The romance just being Mio calling him Danna-sama 700 times instead of like having like more organic feeling progression. It's like, man, I honestly wish that season 1 was just a 6-episode ONA and it would have ended there at this point. Like, I have very harsh things to say about season 2. I did not like it at all. I dropped it halfway in. Anyway, your opinions.
Okay. I think I'm biased because, like, you know when, like, people hate on something that you enjoy, so you end up defending it with your heart, kind of thing?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of happened. Like, hearing you talk about, like, diss it is like, I kind of want to defend it even more than I originally would have. So I think I do overglaze this show a little bit. Like, I'd say it's more like a B- show rather than like a fucking A+ show. No, it's a B- show. I'll give you that.
Yeah, so
and I do agree that season 1 was better. I do agree on that. But sure, the military stuff is not as good as the romance, because the romance is incredibly adorable.
It is cute, yes.
I give you that. But I feel like it's not, I think the military story is good because it's giving Mio a little bit more personality besides just being his Kyoko's wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of her story was kind of like side by side with Kyoko, and I think that while it was good, I feel like it's nice to have her on her own, like developing on her own. Kyoko develops a bit too, not too much though. Like, but then again, the story isn't really about him. Only really being his interactions with Miu, being important.
Yeah, I think the earlier episodes actually did do a pretty good job at giving Miu more of her own identity through exploring.
Yeah, fair enough.
Giving her like actual
I
friends.
Yeah, I do agree. I think having a kind of like just do stuff, like with like on her own, having kind of like a job, I guess. You know, I think that was very important, and also set up the later half of the season, where a bit more of the cute stuff happens. With the clone of Kyoko being very, very adorable, and Miu seems to agree with me a lot there. And yeah, I think it's very cute, so I give it C+. But I do agree that the story isn't anything to write home about, but it's cute enough, and Miu's design is cute enough to where I give it C+.
Yeah,
Well, sorry,
Miu
B-,
is cute.
which averages out to C+.
Anyway, wheel time, baby. We love wheels. I want to wheel.
We love it.
Oh shit! You get to yap again. I was close to getting to Gachiakuta, but I decided to pick up Samurai Champloo last minute. So yeah, this is just you.
SST.
Damn, it's that good.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. When I watched this show, I did not read the synopsis. I had no idea what this was about. I watched it because Mori Calliope did the core 2 OP. I know Mori Calliope, she's my goat. Okay, and she said that the show was really good. It's literally her favorite anime of all time. So I was like, you know what? I'll go watch it. Especially because I had seen a Crunchyroll clip. And it looks pretty good. And oh my god, this show is fucking incredible. So, to give you some context, the show is about a kid called Rudy, right? Rudo. And he is, he's the son of a murderer, and we don't see his dad, who's the murderer, and we don't see his mum. Instead, he's looked after by this guy called Recto. And he had in the start we see him get bullied because he's basically repairing like trash and making nice stuff with it. But there's this one girl who defends him, really cute. He's about to go ask her out, and you know Recto makes fun of him for it, like, oh, you like that girl. Then he confesses to her, runs away back to his house, where he sees Recto getting brutally murdered by a guy. Guy gets murdered, leaves right at the time where the police get there, and he's framed for that murder. And what happens is everyone sides with the police, including this girl he just asked out. Like, and what happens is criminals get in the pit, like hung and like dropped into a pit. And while getting hung, the girl says, "You're just like your father," which are the kind of like the allegations he'd been trying to escape all his life. And he gets dropped into the pit. But he survives. And as he gets into the pit, a huge monster appears out of nowhere, which is in the synopsis, but I didn't know this. So it was very shocking to me. And he ends up fighting this monster, and he awakens kind of like, it looks like a power kind of thing. Like there's like red and black like flashes, no JJK. And it turns out he uses this power system, and where you have an object that you hold very dear to you. If you hold it dear to you, that object will get powers. And in his case, it's these gloves that Recto gave him to hide his scars. And the last thing I'll say, his power ends up being taking objects and bringing them to their full potential, like he did before earlier, repairing that trash that he stole. And he finds his group, and his entire purpose at this point is to get revenge. Just fully on the fucking revenge on the people who hung him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the process, he finds out what it's like to have friends, you know, what it's like to be a person. These people treasure him, even though everyone in this pit, which is like, it's basically an entire world, kind of. It's basically like, imagine like a continent on its own.
Yeah.
They see, so he's from Earth. They call people from Earth Spherites. They see them as like full-on trash. He almost gets killed over it. And when he finds his group, and them together, they defeat Trash Beasts. They go against the evil team, the Raiders. But in the process, Rudo finds out more about himself. Here's the thing, I don't want to spoil it. That's the last thing I want to do. I think it's something that people should experience for themselves. Because it is genuinely an incredible story where
like your description
happened.
of it has made me very eager to check it out myself.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll get to it. Maybe when like a season 2 announcement comes, because I mean, it's inevitable, right?
Now, we won't see season 2 for a while because there's just not enough source material.
Okay.
But it's big Studio Bones, and they did amazing on the animation. It looks very beautiful.
Like Bones is consistent with sequels, so like I know we'll get a second season eventually. So.
Yeah, especially because it did very well. And I said this before. This is the best shonen, top 3 shonen in the past 5 years. I'd say only beaten out by AOT season 4 and Chainsaw Man Reze-arc. And genuinely one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm getting to the manga, which like there's only like 30 chapters I think left before I'm caught up. I think it's like 110 chapters. I think they adapted about 80 chapters. I'm not too sure on that.
It's gonna be a while until we get a season 2 then.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I fucking loved this show. The story was incredible, and the animation was incredible, and also there were some jokes in there. There was some funny jokes in there, and everyone in this show is very charismatic. They all bring their own to the show, and you know, they all have their charms. I will say the only thing about this show that I could say is the dislike is in a couple scenarios, in my opinion, there's some misplaced comedy. Like in very serious circumstances, they'll sneak in some comedy, which like it was funny, but like come on, you could have picked a better time, kind of thing. But I guess that unexpected comedy is a charm in itself. Like it's something you don't expect. So yeah, I'd say I put this above Takopi personally.
Yeah, for me personally,
yeah.
Takopi is so peak that I wouldn't do that person. But
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, very very good show. I am so excited to get to the manga. Because apparently the art style is very good, because the mangaka used to be a graffiti artist.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's got a very unique art style from what I've seen. So I'm very excited. And I will say they do show that in the anime. They kind of show off that uniqueness. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Wheel time, baby. Oh shit, more plasma yapping.
Okay. Tougen Anki, if you said that one show was budget Violet Evergarden, this is budget Tokyo Ghoul. I did glaze this show quite a lot in the core one. I think I would change my rating. It's more like a A minus, I think, maybe B plus, something around there. I'll say A minus though. It's good. Oh no, B plus actually. I've decided B plus.
Fair enough.
It's good. It revolves around demons versus I forgot the other fucking name. The
Slayers,
opposition,
baby.
But Momotaros. That's it. Remember now, I've relocated it in my head. And they're like seen as the villains, and the Momotaro are seen as like the good people. When in reality, the Onis are like not human because they're not, but they have their lives as well, kind of. And you explore kind of like there are two sides to every story kind of thing. But yeah, honestly, it's one of those shows where like there's no reason to watch this show if you're not gonna just watch Tokyo Ghoul or watch or read Tokyo Ghoul. Like there's no reason for it. It's just a budget version, so I can't give it. That's why I put it in B+ over A-, because I feel like I can't just give a budget version of another show A tier. It feels weird for me, because I genuinely don't think there's much that this show does. The only thing I will say that I did really like this show over Tokyo Ghoul for was that the power system is a manifestation of Oni's brains, like what they enjoy. So the main character used to he was really into guns, so his power is like gun based. They use their own blood for their powers, and he's got like a blood based gun.
Yo, the main character's American?
So I think that's interesting, and they made him like a child of Kishin, who's like the original devil. They're called Onis. He's a child of Kishin, and he's like really powerful. He can use fire powers and shit. And like it's cool, but like the storytelling isn't great. It's more like we're people too on that go. So it's like, there's not many themes that this show does that are unique. So, yeah, B+ for me. But P is good though.
Exactly. Alright, what is the wheel giving us today?
No way.
Dog fuckers, baby!
Okay. I love how they're next to each other.
I'm actually not going to talk about this one for very long, because I have already yapped about it on the main channel and already on the Uncut channel, so I don't have that much else to talk about with this one. It is a generic shoujo that makes itself less generic through having a discrimination allegory surrounding the main character, while also being able to explore more sexual concepts through the idea of the main character being able to not being unable to properly control how much he wants to fuck the main girl, which is obviously like a fetish thing for the for the mangaka, right? She's like, yeah, I want to draw this big fucking furry guy who can like tear me up, right? But they do decent things with that with the story. I liked it. It was quite solid. It managed to fulfill both of its concepts well, although the story itself has some issues in some areas to where I can't give it the A tier bump, even though I think that would be absolutely hilarious, because because Glazing the Dog Fucker show is already funny as fuck as is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've already talked about this twice beforehand, so to save my vocal cords, I'm gonna move on to the next one.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're just getting through all of Plasma's yaps now, I guess.
Yeah. This show is very entertaining. It's very entertaining. That's the selling point. It's very funny. And yeah, this is about core 2 only, I think.
Yeah,
because
I think it's just part 2.
each season was yeah. Yeah. So yeah, because season 2 started middle of October. So yeah, just core 2.
Mm-hmm.
This show is very funny. The one thing that pisses me off, they left season 2 on a cliffhanger, which is stupid.
Yeah,
because
I have another show that I have a bone to pick with when it comes to that.
like that fucking pisses me off. Like, why did they leave season 2 on a cliffhanger in the middle, like just before a fight? They just fucking end the season. Like, why? Sorry. But once again, this show is really, really funny. It's about this guy who all he did was play like shit games, like really shit games with a bunch of bugs, stuff like that. It's kind of like Isekai watching. He's the Isekai watchers of video games, right? And this like Sword Art Online type full dive thing where you're fully immersed in the game. But then he decides one day, I'm gonna try the most popular game in the world, Shangri-La Frontier, the name of the series, obviously. And he ends up getting addicted. And he ends up finding this unique scene because in the second episode, I think, or like the third episode, he fights one of the 7 major bosses, and like he fulfills certain conditions to where he gets that monster's curse, which means he can't wear a t-shirt, which is really funny. He's stuck in with a bad t-shirt on, but he finds these like rabbits who like he does quests with them and stuff like that. It's really cool, and he's kind of just like really fucking good. Second season is trying to like what's it called? I think, let me check. Yeah, he rematches the monster he faced in season 1. And then he does like this next quest. But then the end of the season is meant to be like, oh, they're about to do something, but one of the characters has like a fighting game tournament to do. And then they're like, oh no, what do we do? And they're like, oh my god, we'll join in the fighting game tournament. And then, what's it called? Which is really annoying. They're about to start the fight, and then they just kind of like end the whole season, which is stupid. In reality, I'm not gonna lie, Part 2 didn't have that much going on. Like, there wasn't too much to go off of. It was kind of like, because it was more so ending the events of Core 1 and then going into the thing that we're going to season 3. So it's kind of like an intermission. So I can't rate it that highly, Core 2 specifically. I'd rate it a B- because it was still funny. Because like regardless, it's funny, right? So yeah, B-.
Alright. Wheel time, baby. I keep on saying the same shit every single time.
Wheelie, bro. Oh, no.
We're gonna have fun with this one. I assume we have slightly different opinions, but that our opinions are relatively similar when it comes to solo leveling.
Yeah.
I think it's C- tier.
I'd say it's C+.
So I guess I'll just go high C- then, why not?
Yeah.
Thing is, solo leveling's first season, I felt like it had potential, right? Because the idea is that Jinwoo's weak, then he gets a power that makes him strong, but he has to work quite hard to make that power work for him, right? Because he has like all these like workout restrictions that he has to do in order to not be punished. So the first couple of episodes of solo leveling are genuinely decent. I like them. I think they are good episodes. And then I had my copium mask on for the rest of season 1 because like you get to see that Jinwoo is someone who's very reckless, goes for these super strong opponents. He's like, oh, this guy's above my level. I don't know how I'm gonna beat him. And then he beats him. And I'm like, okay, surely eventually his recklessness is gonna catch up to him and he's gonna end up getting fucked over hard for it, right? Because that would be like a character arc, right? That would be something interesting. But no, season 2, wanna know what the first arc is? I don't know if I can beat this guy, his level's too high. And then he beats him without a single fucking shred of effort. And keep in mind, the battle mechanics for solo leveling fucking suck too. There's nothing interesting about it at all. Genuinely one of the most boring fucking combat systems in any action show I've ever seen. So then, like, it's just a repeat of, oh, this guy's above my level, I don't know if I can beat him, and then fucking beats him with zero effort, every single fucking time. It is such a predictable show, it is such a boring fucking... But, like, I can't rate it that high, I can't rate it that low, though, because I will say, for as much as Jinwoo is a poorly written Gary Stu piece of shit, the show is kind of fun. It is a little fun. Even someone who has as much of a Grinch heart as me can acknowledge there is some fun to be had with solo leveling. It is not good though. Anyway, your thoughts?
I've got a lot more to say about solo leveling because I think what helps is that I do read quite a lot of manhwa, so like I seen what other manhwa can do. Here's the thing. I think when people talk about solo leveling story, they look at the overall too much, kind of like the summary of what the story is. Because here's the thing. Most people's appeal with solo leveling story is Jinwoo going from weak to strong. That being really entertaining, such a good written story. But the problem is, this happens for, I'd say 9 episodes?
Yeah.
And that's being generous. I'd say that's being generous.
That is being generous.
9 episodes. He is trying to get as strong as he can. Okay, I'll say 7. So half the season, he spends trying to get as strong as he can. The problem is, the way solo leveling is that he is the only guy who can level up. Now, that sounds cool, but it's also really boring. It's never been done before because it's really boring having everyone, his entire opposition, unable to get stronger. They're capped from the start. And it's like, here's the thing. A lot of what people like is that Jinwoo puts in the work to get stronger. But in reality, it's something you expect from every character. When you see a strong character in every other show, the reason why you're fascinated by them being strong is because they put the fucking work in. They spent their entire life I spent my entire life getting stronger. That doesn't happen in solo leveling because everyone has their powers from the start. They don't get stronger, which is very, very boring. Seeing Jinwoo put in this effort and no one else putting in this effort, it's like, come on, what's going on? And then we have Jinwoo's powers. I said this in the original video we talked solo leveling in. Jinwoo's main power is being a necromancer. Now, necromancers are kind of like a form of mage, and a mage's weakness is close combat. First of all, sometimes they'll do that a mage's spells will take long to cast, or that they're very vulnerable if someone gets close, especially a necromancer. If someone gets close, you're fucked. So the whole point of a necromancer, keep everyone away, focus on your summons. But the problem is, before you even fucking gave him the necromancy, you made him the strongest sword fighter in the show. How do I know? Because he literally beat the strongest guy with just a sword in the beginning. Well, I think it was in the beginning of season 2. Or so, like, what's going on? Wait, it's so boring because like there's no visible flaw. And as you were saying, oh, this opponent is stronger than my rank. Well, like, what's gonna happen? You expect him at some point to face the reality, like, fucking hell, you're not the strongest. But no, that never happens. He constantly beats every single person in the story, and that's really annoying because, you know, I think it's a problem with the story in itself. It was flawed from the start. The whole premise was just kind of bad in a story writing perspective, and I do agree the story is fun. It's got cool fights and stuff, but it's boring because, again, the story fully ended in season 2, episode 9, I think, where he kills his mum.
Actually,
because his entire drive, even at the beginning, the whole thing was that he got his powers because he had walked through life and death. But he never faces death again after episode 9, and the whole reason he walked through life and death was to cure his mum. He does that in the middle of season 2, which is stupid. Because, like, you know, that was the whole driving force of the story, and it just gets resolved, and then we're still halfway through the story. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the story, and the main premise is already finished. He's already leveled up to be the strongest person in the world, and he's cured his mum. Where's his drive? He doesn't have any. That's why he turns into an arrogant piece of shit, where people will be visibly dying, like he once was. He was almost dying every single dungeon he took on. Mm-hmm. He was almost dying, and you know, he watches it happen. He turns into an arrogant piece of shit. The ones they hated before, who would just not care about him. He turned into the thing he hated the most, into a nonchalant guy who doesn't give a shit about what happens to other people. He'll just fight people who disrespect him. Mm-hmm. Like, it's horrible. Like, you'd think that someone who's been at the bottom can have compassion for people who are weaker than him. But no, if someone's weaker than him but still strong, he doesn't care. He'll still beat them the hell up, which is really, really disappointing. Because as you said, solo leveling, I feel like it does, regardless of the flaws that I said from the power system, I think it can have, you know, it can have a good story. It can, but it doesn't, because it's boring. There's nothing to expect, because you've seen him think, oh, this guy's stronger than me, what will I do? Because we've seen that happen like 3 fucking times, and he's come out alive with the other guy mashed up 3 different times. Every single time, you know he's gonna win. You know at some point he will win. It's kind of like when you're watching a romance and you know that the main characters are gonna get together at some point. You know it. Unless you're watching a harem or love triangle, obviously. You know the main characters will get together. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, except in a shonen where that is just, you can't do that and say you have a good story. Because there's no build-up. For romance, you have the build-up from being friends to, you know, the confession and everything. You have that build-up. Solo leveling doesn't have that build-up. And it's incredibly boring. All the characters besides Jinwoo are boring as shit. They have no substance to them. Even Jinwoo doesn't have that much substance, let's be real here. So yeah, that's a lot of yap. If you like solo leveling and you're watching this, fair enough to you. You can like solo leveling, but just do me a favor, read Omniscient Reader's viewpoint, then come back to me and tell me that solo leveling is peak. Come back to me, because Omniscient Reader's viewpoint is how you fucking do a leveling system and have a substance in your story. Have someone who's the strongest and have substance in your story. Come back to me once you've read it, and then or when it comes out as an anime, which has been announced a while ago, when it comes out as an anime, watch the season review where it comes out and tell me that solo leveling is peak. Come back to me. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, so I actually have additional thoughts about Jinwoo too, because like the point that you made about Jinwoo's kind of fucked sense of morality, that was an element in season that was even being presented more toward the end of season 1, right? Like he outright kills people who are disrespecting him, and I'm like, yeah, this is a really interesting idea, because in a good show they'd acknowledge that Jinwoo fucked up, that he did a wrong thing, that it's not okay to fucking kill someone just because they're a piece of shit, right? But the show doesn't do anything about it. It's so funny because a huge reason why I love Re:Zero so much is because it actively fights against having portrayals of power fantasy characters like these. In Re:Zero, Jinwoo would be one of the main villains of that show. That is how badly they fucked up with the writing of Jinwoo.
Yeah, like, I think there is, you know, if he had reflected on what he had done wrong, it would have been good. But honestly, when I watch Solo Leveling, it feels like, no offense to the writer, it feels like the writer doesn't even have control of what happens. It feels like Jinwoo is writing the story. Yeah. He'll do what he wants and nothing will happen. If Jinwoo does it, he's right. That's what it feels like. It feels like the writer doesn't even have a say in it. Mm-hmm. Which is like, come on!
yeah, like I don't know if I have anything else that I want to comment on. Solo leveling's not good. It's at least fun. It's such a... Because, like, you mentioned the word boring a lot, which is so fascinating because solo leveling is the most insane combination of boring and entertaining in one package that I've ever seen. It is both at the same time.
The stuff is very entertaining, but the story as a whole, if you look at the big picture, is very boring. It's like, the fights are entertaining, the story is boring. I said that like 3 times, I know, but yeah.
That is my opinion on solo leveling in a nutshell, which is the part of the reason why I won't outright call it bad, but if I was just judging the writing though, yeah, it's bad. It's actually the worst anime in this entire year that I've seen, at least. Anyway, oh yeah, nice. Our first Danwa of the video. So the Fate of Magical Princess is an interesting one because it is a Danwa adaptation of a Korean manhwa, which is such a weird mix.
Yeah, that's an anime, guys.
So it's not written by a Japanese team, and it's not animated by a Japanese team, but I like including Danwa in these videos, because Danwa is cool, so...
This is like the closest you can get to being an anime without being an anime at all.
Pretty much, yeah. I would say that this show, it kind of feels like a manhwa shoujo romance version of Mushoku Tensei, which is such a weird comparison. So the main character, she can see into the future, and the future she's trying to prevent is the one where her father ends up abusing her over another person who pretends to be a part of their family. So the stakes feel very low, however, because because she knows what the future outcome's gonna be. She's fighting to make sure that doesn't happen. Within the first 3 episodes, that's kind of resolved, though, that we kind of see her in her ideal timeline where her dad loves her. One thing that I think is really cool about this show is that the main character, I like her for very similar reasons that I like Meg from Once Upon a Witch's Death, and in the sense that she's very spunky and fun, right? I like the sass she has. Very energetic character. However, this show doesn't feel like it has a ton of stakes in it, and it moves slow as fucking molasses. It is a very... And I know it has stuff that it's building toward. The last couple episodes of the first season, genuinely really cool shit, but it moves slow. It is a love triangle romance, and the two main relationships that she's being established with, neither of them I'm invested in, which is a bit of a problem for a romance show like this. In terms of visuals, it looks great. Danwa in general honestly look more consistently good than anime, which is weird to say, or at least a popular Danwa anyway. Yeah, this show looks gorgeous. Just from like an art style perspective. The animation itself, I don't think it was like super crazy outside of a couple of key scenes, which I mean makes sense. This is 16 episodes. It's not short by any means. I'd say I ended up watching it with mixed feelings, but I do still think it's good. Probably the bottom of my B tier, honestly. Anyway, and I will say that this ranking will probably go up with future seasons too, because season 1 definitely felt like setting up to the shit that's like actually going to be like really, really compelling. I hope so anyway. I really hope so. Okay. So Sawaranaide Kotesashi-kun. So the main character, so it's a harem anime where the main character is a massage artist. When he gives massages to main girls, they always moan at the end of it. And the main character doesn't feel a romantic or sexual bone in his body because he is too dedicated to his job. I think that the potential of this show is fucking amazing as a comedy. This show could have been fucking hilarious. The comedy, however, is unfortunately a mixed bag. I hate to say this, but this show is not good at all. Like, there's the occasional joke that's funny. Most of the jokes, though, just feel kind of uncomfortable, because this show is, like, borderline hentai. There is nudity in this one. Sometimes it works to make the jokes better. Other times it really doesn't. Another thing that I think is a bit unfortunate for a harem show like this too is the fact that every character has the same body type, so none of the character designs feel especially varied, in my opinion. Compare that to something like 100 Girlfriends, where every character looks completely different. That's a show that has fantastic, phenomenal character design. None of the characters are particularly memorable here. There's the occasional decent idea here. Animation looks like complete shit. I mean, it's borderline hentai. It wasn't gonna look good to begin with, let's be real. It's bad. That's the best way for me to put it. It's bad. But it did make me laugh enough to where it saves it from D tier. Anyway, next up. Summer Pockets. I like Key and things that Key makes. So obviously, I really like Summer Pockets. I can't believe it took us this long for a fucking A tier to show up and the wheel of it. Oh, you changed your PFP again. How wonderful. Yuri!
No, I didn't change my PFP. I just changed my Fuki.
Anyway, so, I like Summer Pockets a lot. If I want to talk about why Summer Pockets is good, I had to spoil everything.
Shit!
Because that is the thing. That is how every Key visual novel adaptation works, right?
Do you recommend it?
I'd recommend it. I would say absolutely watch Clannad Little Busters Canon first, because those are better Key visual novels than Summer Pockets, but Summer Pockets is still
Every time
really
I've watched both of those, I'll probably have forgotten what you said now, so go ahead.
Yeah, watch Little Busters first so you can little bust a Summer Pockets. Anyway, Summer Pockets is really good. There are 4 character routes in the game, in the adaptation. The first 2 episodes are kind of like vibing with the characters. They're pretty fun. In terms of like general vibes, I like the show a lot because I really like the Key style of writing. No one talks like a normal person. Very quirky dialogue, right? But it's really fun. The first route they adapt, I don't think is particularly strong because they kind of backload all the emotional shit at the very end, so you don't know why you should be invested in the arc until the very end, and it just feels like, oh my fucking god, I'm overwhelmed. There's way too much fucking shit for me to process. And then the second route, which so Kamome is the first route. The second route, I believe, is Tsumugi. Tsumugi's route, I have no real issue with. It is a just generally good route all around. She says Mugyu for no reason. I thought that was cute. Then the third character route is I can't believe Aoi. Yeah, her name is Ao. Yeah, Ao's route is good. She kind of plays like a more like tsundere role, which I think that Key writes those kinds of characters very well overall. And like the fact that she's a closeted pervert at the same time makes her tsundere moments even funnier. And then final character route before we're getting into like the after story or refrain equivalent. is Shiroha, who is the main girl. She's voiced by Konomi Kohara, which automatically makes her the cutest thing to ever exist, because Konomi Kohara's voice is the cutest thing to ever grace this world. I like Shiroha. And in general, the main sort of theme that Summer Pockets runs with is the idea of running away. The main character retreats to this island because he wants to run away from the fact that he fucked up on the swim team. But every single arc surrounds him helping other characters not run away himself. And he ends up doing the same for Shiroha by the end, which ends up being the main romance, of course, because the final route is always the main romance, right? So then the final arc ends up really going into those themes. I literally can't say anything about it without spoiling everything. I will say I cried like a little fucking bitch at the end, because of course I did. It is a key visual novel adaptation. I was going to cry like a bitch at the end. I would say my opinions on Summer Pockets are very heavily carried by how fucking good those last two arcs are. Or is it 3? I don't remember. If it's 2 or 3 arcs at the very end. It's one of those shows though where like you're not gonna get an idea of how much you like it until like episode 18.
Oh damn.
Because it's a visual novel adaptation. I would say before the stuff at the end, it is a perfectly acceptable like 7 out of 10. The last 2 arcs are like 9 out of 10 shit for me though, so it all balances out to being 8 out of 10 for me. It's a really good show. If it is not what I would recommend someone starts with Key, if someone wants to start with Key, my first recommendation is Clannad, and then Little Busters, and then Canon afterward, but I would recommend Summer Pockets after that. It's really good.
Got it.
Wheel.
Alright, Yano-kun, baby. Yano-kun is a really fun romance. I think I would put it here. It is... I liked Yano-kun. The general idea... So the gimmick with Yano-kun is that Yano, the main character, he constantly hurts himself, just because he's clumsy and because he has the worst luck in the world. And the main girl, Kyoko, who's basically the protagonist, she's a character who, she's like the very caring type, the older sister of two siblings, so she's just always has a first aid kit on her, so she ends up nursing him to health constantly. The comedy is very strong in this one. I thought it wouldn't be, because they're kind of just reusing the same joke for 12 episodes, but I was surprised. I did find it to be a funny show. The relationship between him and Kyoko is really cute. I like how they established, specifically in the first couple of episodes, that Yano is someone who doesn't need to be protected constantly. He is someone who is very considerate, someone who's very cognizant of the things around him. That is exactly why I think the dynamic kind of falls apart when they confess halfway through, because the show just kind of becomes Kyoko babying Yano for the second half, and it just feels kind of strange. It's still cute, mind you. I still thought it was fun, but Yano-kun kind of stopped feeling like an individual almost in the second half. That's my only major complaint though. This would have been in B+ if it weren't for the second half being on the weaker end for me. I still really liked it. Oh yeah, one thing I do gotta note though. Kyoko's voice actor, one of the best voice performances of the entire year. Kyoko, from like a design perspective, isn't like super like eye-catchy or anything, which I think is a very solid intentional choice. These characters feel very realistic depictions of high schoolers. but like her voice gives so much character, and her expressions too. Like, she is a very expressive, very emotive character. Like there's a video of her just screaming Yano-kun, and like, and where you get to see just how good the voice performance is. It's so good. Like a lot of the comedy is carried by her vocal performance, and the facial expressions that come along with it. So yeah, this is a year where there weren't a lot of like fluff romances. Most of the fluff romances that did come out were bad or very mid. This is the best fluff romance of the year, in my opinion. It was really cute.
As a fluff romance enjoyer, it makes me sad.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fluff romance enjoyer, but if one is funny and cute enough, I will enjoy it, and Yano-kun I did enjoy. Wheel, baby. I love wheels.
Same, bro.
Hanako-kun Season 2, both cores, because I didn't want to put separate cores on the wheel. I did put different images for the cores, though. I have pretty similar opinions on both cores, though, so not a whole lot there. I really liked Hanako-kun Season 2. Hanako-kun Season 1, my main issue with it is that it just felt like it was very slow, very aimless, like I didn't really know what it wanted to be. Season 2, though, is really good. If I want to talk about it, though, I'd be spoiling literally fucking everything. So I, unfortunately, am not going to talk about it at all. If I were to place it on the list, though, I would actually put it, like, higher B+. I didn't have it that high before, but I was recently discussing it with someone else online, where I was really able to realize, wow, there's a lot of really clever writing in this season. It's genuinely some really good shit. Like the first season is like just a fairly, I'd say it's like a I wouldn't know how to describe it. It's such a unique show. This second season, though, I would describe as one of the most interesting twisted romance stories that I've seen in anime. And it also pairs like similar themes that we got to see with like the third semester of Persona 5, which that was fucking cool.
Sorry.
Yeah. I liked Hanako-kun Season 2 considerably more than the first, and I already did enjoy the first, because from a vibe, it's definitely a vibe show, and the vibes are definitely there. Very creative look. Unfortunately, the animation doesn't move, like, at all, but that's kind of saved by the OST and the art style being so unique. Anyway, wheel... Ah, yes. The one I saw just because I thought the title sounded really funny. Vampire-chan Can't Suck Right, which I think the official English title is Little Miss Vampire, but Vampire-chan sounds better. Yeah, Vampire-chan Can't Suck Right is fucking boring. It's so boring. It is... So the main character is so generic that he isn't even drawn with a mouth. That is how nothing he is. He looks like a hentai protagonist. It's so bad. The main thing that saves this show for me is that there is the occasional decent joke. And the vampire girl, she's cute. Not in a way that I think is especially memorable, mind you, but in a way where I go, yeah, I don't mind watching this episode, fuck it, why not? I was kind of close to dropping the series, low-key. I don't really have very strong opinions on it. This is a very nothing burger show. The one character that I did end up really liking was Kusunoki. She kind of like combines like the personality types of like a tsundere and an onesan in once, where she's like super overprotective and caring, but she's also tsundere about it. I thought she was really cute, and she has the best jokes pretty consistently. Otherwise, it's a nothing burger again. I have nothing to talk about with this one. It is mid.
I don't believe you about that. Surely this show can't suck.
I can't believe that joke actually got me. Hana wa Saku, which I am convinced I am the only one in the universe who has actually seen it. So I ended up watching it because Studio Bind made it, and like I've been trying to watch as much from them as possible, because I really like Mushoku Tensei, right? And it is, so it's basically like a drama about characters who narrate, which sounds extremely mundane and boring, but it's actually pretty good. All the characters have different, different responses and different belief systems around how they're able to do these narrations properly and effectively, which leads to some really interesting drama. It is a good show. Do I have much to talk about with it? It aired in like spring. I will be honest, I don't remember fucking anything that happened in it. Watch my spring video for me to yap about it, I guess. I did like it though. I will give it a solid B tier. I think I'll put it here in my ranking, which feels a little low.
Got it.
But like most of the shows I have in B, I'm B minus. I'm kind of have it about the same level for me. Wheel. Sakamoto Days. That song slaps, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
Like, both OPs are, like, some of my favorites in the entire year. They are both fantastic. They look fantastic, and they sound fantastic. Yeah, so Sakamoto Days had two cores. I'm not gonna BS and stall. It is an A-tier show for me. I think Sakamoto Days is honestly all I want from a shonen, which is just fun, solid characters, fun, interesting battle mechanics, and because like there's not, and because it's like an assassin show, so there's not like any like battle mechanics that wouldn't be a thing in our own world, but the fights are still interesting because the mangaka just knows how to make a good fight. But the main thing that I like the show for is that the characters are very fun, the comedy's solid, it's a vibe show for me. The thing I like about it most is like Sakamoto is like super strong in OP, right? But that's not really like, it's used so differently compared to how someone like Jinwoo is written, where where Sakamoto is very humble about it, and he uses his strength as a way not to be violent, but rather as a means of protecting what he wants to keep, which is why the whole conflict is surrounded by other people wanting to beat him over him wanting to have a goal of his own, which I think is a really cool twist for shonen. And the reason why this is still able to work is because Shin is basically the main character in and of himself, because he acts more as like the traditional shonen protagonist. He's not especially strong, but he still can kick a little bit of ass. And much of the character development that happens in the show is from him, and I think that it's done really well. I like Shin a lot. I think he's a really solid character, and I really like seeing his growth throughout the show. Otherwise, though, I don't have a ton else to talk about with Sakamoto Days. It's good. I really like it.
Yeah, I didn't get around to finishing part 2, but part 1 was very funny. It was good comedy, and very like I watched like I think I watched most of part 2, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just like it was a nice break from traditional shonen, because it did have some of those elements. Like the story structure is decently shonen based, but it's also just mixed in with a lot of just fun, which I always appreciate, you know, because there's what's it called? It's very they could have very easily taken this thing very seriously, but they didn't. They just made it a lot of fun with some decent story mixed in with it. So yeah, I agree on that A- too.
Like, it's just, this is what I want out of the shonen genre, just solid ass characters and character development, and Sakamoto Days hits that right on the nail for me. Oh shit, we're halfway now. Thank God. My voice is starting to hurt.
I don't blame you.
Literally only 4 new episodes of Arifureta came out, but I figure, we may as well have it here anyway.
I don't remember shit about this show.
I
don't remember.
Arifureta.
I don't remember anything. I don't even remember when I put it last time. I put it in like fucking detail.
That doesn't surprise me. It's Arifureta after all.
It's just the main character being a fucking edgelord.
Mm-hmm. MHA season 8. So I watched season 8. Did you get around to it? I think you're a manga reader, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. For me, so throughout most of season 8, I had the unpopular opinion of putting it in just B+, because the fights were really good, right? But my entire opinion on it hinges on if the ending could stick the landing. It fucking did. It's so good. So for me, it's an A+.
I agree with you.
I was fucking shocked because the manga readers had talked so much shit about the ending, right? There is no way that it could be good, right? I was so skeptical throughout the entire season, and then that final episode came out, and I'm like, holy shit. I may have disagreements about the show ending this soon in general, but if this is the timeline that we had to live in, it was a really fucking well executed ending.
I think, as someone who read the manga, I think the ending was good, but I think the adaptation did it so much better. Like, I think the manga did have some problem. I feel like there was a lot just that felt kind of missing, and it felt very rushed, but I think the anime did it very well. I don't know, I feel like the anime just in general is so much better than the manga. And it's not me just being biased towards anime in general, because I read a lot of manga, but I think, like, the ending in the anime was very well done. Honestly, I don't remember how the manga ended. But, like, obviously, MHA is iconic. Like, MHA felt like it kind of marked the sort of new era of shonen. And you know, 8 seasons is for it to end now is, you know, I feel like it could have, as you said, could have gone on for a bit longer. But I think when people talk about how shit the ending was, you gotta remember that like half the fandom wanted only Bakugo and Deku to have a threesome involving Umi at the end. They didn't want anything else, so when that didn't happen, they got fucking mad. It wasn't. I did say like the anime did it better. The manga didn't end it badly. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't horrible, but Bones just like MHA always looks good, but season 8 they really they put their heart into this one.
Yeah,
it feels like
easily the best animation the show has seen. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. What I will say is, for the final season, I feel like Deku didn't get enough. But at the same time, I feel like his arc was over, and like there wasn't much to say. And if you want me to be honest, that whole thing with him getting his powers back was good. But also, just remember, I don't think he got his powers back at like the end, but I don't remember. I think it might have been like a side chapter, but I don't fucking remember. But so cool. Deku getting his powers, it felt kind of weird because he gets it from like machinery. It feels like he isn't that special anymore, and I feel like Deku wasn't recognized as he should have, because like he did a shit ton, but everyone's still glazing All Might, who fucking got put in a pack years ago. You know what I mean? So it felt kind of weird, but at the same time, like the ending was good, and as a whole, for what people might say, and I do agree that MHA did fall off from its earlier seasons. MHA was a good show.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's sad to see it, end. But at the same time, I'm happy about it. It's a bittersweet thing.
Like, because my opinions on MHA is like, so it's in general, MHA is split into 3 different acts. Act 1, peak, best, my personal favorite shonen of all time if Chainsaw Man didn't exist, because Chainsaw Man is my favorite shonen now. Act 2...
That's a weird way to say my second favorite of all time.
True, yes. Act 2, I felt a little bit more disappointed by. I didn't really vibe with it nearly as much. I found it to be a little weak. Act 3, I have very mixed feelings on, because, oh god, why are we ending the show this soon? That's not something that I really want to see. But I do think that, given the circumstances, it does execute what it needs to well. I can't give MHA the S tier that I would for its first couple seasons, honestly, just because of the fact that a better written version of the series would have ended at like season 12 or some shit.
Yeah, I think MHA, like, for all its fault, if it had to end now, they've done it well, but they could have at least gone, I think, 2 more seasons. I think it was very abrupt. Its ending was very, very abrupt. I feel like there was some stuff that was just completely unanswered.
Yeah.
Like, obviously Deku's romance has been the subject of a lot of debate.
Exactly. We never got to see him fuck Bakugo.
We never got to see Bakugo become pregnant.
Yeah, we love Mpreg shit.
So, that's annoying. Of course. And there were some side chapters that I don't think that didn't get adapted. That did answer some stuff. But it's disappointing to see it end now. I think it definitely could have gone on for a bit longer. But and that's the thing with endings. It's you don't realize it at first, but that's it. We're not getting anything else.
Yeah.
But that's all we're getting.
Well, we are technically getting more vigilantes, but
yeah, okay, but in terms of main story, that's all we're getting. We're not getting anything else. That's never coming. We'll never see it again. Anything you have to ask about MHA will never be answered. Which I think that's what puts into perspective, like, damn, this show really could have gone longer, because there's so many questions you can ask about the show, which I feel like, yeah, there's the whole thing like, viewers' interpretation and stuff, but I think there's definitely stuff that they could have set in stone for a couple more seasons. But it is what it is. If it didn't end now and it kept going on, I don't think it would have been close to the quality of MHA so far, because clearly the manga wanted to end it now.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, as soon as, even like halfway into, even during the Paranormal Liberation War arc, that Horikoshi was starting to go, yeah, I'm feeling burned out of this shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, as soon as the My Villain arc, I was starting to feel that. Like, it's a little unfortunate, but I mean, writing weekly manga breaks people, understandably.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, it's your life. You have no life for those years that you spent writing and drawing. Obviously, I think a lot of people forget. Like, even if you're making a chapter weekly, that's 51 chapters a week. Let's take Gachiakuta, for example. Season 1 was 88 chapters. That means an entire year, over a year and a half of the manga's life's work was one season.
Yeah.
So imagine 8 seasons, all 2 cores. That's a lot of work. I think the manga sphere has a lot to work on in terms of being a lot more grateful for the work that manga could put in, because of course you can have gripes. I have gripes with the ending, but at the same time, like, it's a lot of work, and some people want to be free from that, because not only is working a job for 8 years tiring, Or how long was MHA going on for? Like 9 years?
Yeah, it went on for a while. I don't remember how long though.
It must have been like 9 years ish. Not only that, you have to be creative for 9 years. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. I don't mind that it's
The
over.
manga went on for over 10 years.
I'd much rather Horikoshi be in better spirits than the story I like go on for a bit longer,
Yeah. But I will say that one thing that I haven't been able to talk about quite yet is the fact that I actually really like the ending, and I'm going to talk now about why I think it was well executed. So, I was initially very skeptical of the idea of Deku losing his powers. I thought that idea could not have been handled well, but I ended up being very pleasantly surprised, because Deku ends up working as a teacher in UA, showcasing the very idea that you don't need to have powers to be a hero in order to make an impact on the world, because the tangible, because the message of My Hero Academia is you can be a hero, and by showcasing Deku being able to make an impact without his superpowers, shows the audience that they too, despite not living in a superpowered world, can also be a hero in their own way, which I think is really clever writing. But the reason why I really like the mech suit, like the Iron Man suit that All Might gives to Deku at the very end, and the reason why I love that scene so much is because it shows that hard work, kindness, that shit pays off. You will be rewarded for the good acts that you do. Of course, you shouldn't expect to be rewarded, but the fact that he gets compensated in that way, it's a beautiful fucking scene. I thought it was fucking fantastic shit. And then, of course, Deku also helping raise up this one middle school boy, telling him that he can be a hero as well, the same way that All Might did to him. It's such clever full circle writing. I really loved this ending, and it is the reason why this is one of the stronger seasons of MHA for me. Like, they really hit the nail on the head with this one.
I have to say, my gripe with the ending is I don't like the mech suit idea, because I feel like what the ending originally felt to me before that mech suit was, at the start, the message was, you don't need to be born with powers to make a difference. But then, at the end, the message ends up twisting into, you don't even need to have powers to make a difference. And that's what he says to the kid. But Deku just gets his powers again, which I feel is kind of counterintuitive to the point he was making. And it's like, sure, you say to the kid that he can be a hero, but not much of that is shown. Like, if you don't have a quirk, there doesn't even seem to be that much hope, because like even Deku went back to having the suit, which like fair, but like it feels kind of weird. Like I feel like I'm getting conflicting messages, and I do agree the scene is very wholesome, seeing him get the suit, just like how All Might used that suit in the final fight. I think that's cool, but I feel like I wanted to see more of that. You don't even need to have powers in order to make a difference to be a hero,
Yeah, I mean, like, even with the suit though, he still doesn't really have powers. The reason why he earned that is because of the hard work that he put in beforehand, all the dedication that he had shown, all the heroism that he's been able to show even after losing his powers and still applying himself into the real world. That scene acts as his reward for all the good that he's done in the past, which is why I personally love the scene so much.
That's fair. I can agree with that.
I like the ending for similar reasons to why I like endings like Clanad's ending, for example, where even if okay, I won't spoil it. Anyway, before I spin the wheel, I'm gonna piss because it's been like probably at least an hour and a half at this point. I gotta go so bad.
Yeah. Hello, chat. it's me, Asma Energized. How you doing, bro? I'm doing alright. I'm just here, you know, rating anime. It's 9 p.m. and I'm still rating anime, which is good fun. I think it's been like 2 hours, I think. Have we crossed the 2 hour mark? My bet's on no, but we're approaching it. I say we're like an hour and 50 minutes. That's my guess. Or like an hour and 50 to an hour and 55 minutes. If I'm right, I'm a legend. You better say that in the comments that I'm a legend. If I'm not, just make fun of me. Call Aiden a legend. If I'm wrong. And he won't know why. Because he's not going to watch this back. So, just say it. Anyway, time to wait for the man to get back. We have quite a few. We got 22 shows left to go over. Yeah, we got a lot to go through, man. I'm hoping that, I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of the stuff that we talked about, like in detail, is done. I think there's like 3 more shows that, maybe like 4 more shows that we'll talk about in detail. I expect to go on for about an hour and a half. This is gonna be a fucking long one.
It is gonna be a really fucking long one.
Yeah.
Just as long as my penis when I talk to you.
Okay, buddy. You're my dick is 3.5 hours long.
Ah, yes, Blue Box. I've had almost a whole year to think about Blue Box now. When it was airing, I thought it was great because it's just had a really good sense of drama, being able to establish the stakes of the love triangle that they have going on, and the cliffhangers fucking drove me crazy every single week. I was at the edge of my seat trying to figure out what would happen. More I've thought about it though, I'm not nearly as strong on it, just because it is a good show that I think is very entertaining. But holy shit, is it so fucking frustrating. Like, because they're basically holding out on this love triangle plot for 25 episodes. And it is as tedious as you think it would be. That is about as much as I had to say when it comes to the plot itself. Character-wise, I think it's very strong. Hina is best girl. I hate that she gets cucked, but Hina is best girl. She is very fun, spunky, entertaining. She has just like such a natural chemistry with the main character. Chinatsu is the main girl. She is kind of boring and nothing. You don't really get to learn a whole bunch about her. I hope we'll get to learn more about her later in season 2. I'm really hoping, because otherwise the rest of the show is going to be really boring. But I'm holding out hope that season 2 can be good. I really hope it'll be. But I mean, the problem with Chinatsu though is that she never gets to really flex what makes her good as a character. We never get to understand why Taiki likes her, because Taiki just holds her up on a pedestal the entire time without ever being able to properly understand her, and that makes her about as interesting as you would expect. She is honestly a very nothing character. Taiki himself is a very simple character. He is a underdog with a heart of gold, and I do really appreciate the fact that his love for Chinatsu does make him want to do better at badminton, same way that Chinatsu's good at basketball, right? The sports hybrid is really fun. I do enjoy that element a lot. Honestly, most of my issues with the series though just boil down to the main romance is just not that interesting.
Yeah,
everything around the main romance is really good, but the main romance is just not that interesting.
I think, like, I haven't watched Blue Blocks personally, but I've heard what you said, and I watch a lot of romance and read a lot of romance. I think I've always especially like when someone already likes the character, the main girl in question, and they're not like a childhood friend type character, I think it's very hard to write that, because that's what you have here. And the question is, why the hell does this guy like her? If someone likes someone else, just because they find them attractive. Sure, that's a decent explanation. But from what you said, it seems to be deeper than that. And that's kind of not explained. And I think it's difficult because you just go into the show where these things are already there and there's no build-up. The build-up is meant to be not from learning about them to getting together, it's just from liking them to getting together, which is kind of like you've missed out half of it without even explaining that half of it, you know? Like, for a childhood friend, it kind of makes sense. They've been around them for their whole life. It makes sense that they might have feelings, especially if they show that. But this show doesn't show any of it. So, yeah.
Oh shit, we're finally getting to talk about the British we have like very slightly different opinions on Baan. I think it's I would put it in B- personally. I remember you saying like A-, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just aggregate that.
Yeah.
I think Baan is good. It looks beautiful. I think the general plotline is decent enough. Like, it's kind of as good as a single episode can really be for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Not much more for me to say, though. I just don't have strong feelings.
Yeah. I think, personally, the story of Baan is one that, while I might not fully relate to it, because, you know, I'm still in school and stuff, I'm still a student. I think it's a very nice message to have, you know, because going away from home is something very scary, you know, and you know, you really want to impress your parents, you know, when you do try and chase your dream, you want to impress your parents, and you know, it feels like, can you really face them before you get back, before you see them? Can you face them without having fulfilled your dream yet? It's like, it's a very hard feeling to go through, and I think this show does a very good display at, you know, showing, yeah, it's okay to go home. And of course there are going to be differing interpretations. Gon himself might have a different interpretation of it. I don't know. That's how I took it. And you know, I think that is very heavily accentuated by, you know, this main girl who, sorry, I've forgotten her name, but she's adopted, you know? Like, I think that intensifies the wanting to make that person proud, because they sacrifice something that they didn't expect to sacrifice. When parents have a kid, of course you want to make them proud, but at the same time, they chose to have that kid. But here, they didn't, you know, it was thrusted upon them. But they still took care of them out of the kindness of their heart. So you want to make them proud even more. And I think that's very good. And I think off of what I've, you know, learned about Gon, of watching Trash Taste, stuff like that, this definitely feels like Gon personified in an anime. So, yeah. I really liked it. I think it was very enjoyable. And I think it was as good, as you said, is as good as one episode can be. And I think it's a very big step in the right direction of, it doesn't take a huge a mangaka to do this every week and a huge team. Anyone can, like, he's a YouTuber, for God's sake, and he still managed to make it work. Of course, he had the money for it. Obviously, had some favors called in with the dub especially. But yeah, it was very nice. I think it was very cool to see a YouTuber who, regardless of what you think about him, has done so much for the anime sphere in his long career. Having an anime of his own, it's very wholesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are finally getting to Kaoru Hana.
There we go.
Personally, I would put this in S+. I know you'd put it in SS. I think this is your favorite of the
Yeah,
three, right?
you know what? Second favorite.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it in S+ with you.
Alright.
I'll compromise on that.
Yeah, well, we need to have at least one S+ in this tier list.
Yeah, exactly. That's all the reason I said S+.
I fucking love Kaoru Hana. Like, every episode I would end this, especially in the second half, I'd end every episode with the dumbest fucking smile on my face. These characters are so lovable. They feel so realistically written. Like, I feel like have like legitimate. I feel like these characters are a part of like my own little family, right?
Yeah.
The main friend group between Rintaro, Saku, Usami, and Ayato is genuinely one of the most realistically written friendships I've seen. It reminds me so much of my own IRL friend group. I absolutely love the way that it's written, and like when they adapted the coolest guy ever line, I actually jumped out my fucking bed and started popping off. I was fucking screaming at the top of my lungs. I was like, yeah, let's fucking go! Because context, both of us were manga readers before watching the adaptation, so like there was a lot of Pog facing at the best moments from the manga being adapted.
Yeah.
Like, now of course the main romance is really cute too. We don't get into most of what really makes it shine until quite a bit later on.
That's why I agreed on S+ as well, because like we don't get into the main juice of it until later.
Because a lot of what makes this anime so strong, a lot of what makes manga so strong, is the fact that every aspect of every character's life feels like it matters and means something. And that's the reason why I feel like these characters feel like actual people instead of characters. Everything about their lives matters, and it's the reason why this show is not only a fantastic romance, but also works so well as a slice of life. All of the and then I feel like one area where you could realistically criticize it is that these characters do act very maturely for their age, like unusually so. Well, I don't know. There's something very refreshing about characters who are just able to deal with their challenges like fucking adults for once. I don't know. I like the fact that a lot of the conflict doesn't really stick that much, or doesn't really get emphasized to an unnecessarily annoying extent.
I think obviously at this point they're in their second year of high school, so they're like 16, 17-ish. Sorry. sorry.
I hate that I laugh every time.
I'll shut up. Okay. So yeah, they act quite mature for their age. I think some of them, I feel like it's reasonable. Like, for example, Rintaro, I think his childhood is definitely makes his maturity justified, I think, because he's had his fair share of shit to deal with, and Kaoru having to work so hard in her life as well. I think their maturity is justified to an extent. I think we don't, in the anime, I don't think we see as much as to why that applies to the other characters, but I think it's, as you said, it's very refreshing to see these characters act their age and act even like more mature than their age kind of shows. And I think for me personally, Rintaro is a character who I relate to a lot. I relate to him a lot throughout my own life. And Rintaro himself gives me hope for myself, and Rintaro has that impact on others, and others give him that strength too. And that's why I love this show so much, along with it being a cute romance, stuff like that, of course, because I'm a romantic guy. I love romance. But in reality, the romance isn't even like the main reason I enjoy the story. If this story was just a slice of life, I'd still love it. I'd still love it so much.
Yeah, like if it was just about the friend group, I would honestly rate it the exact same as I do now.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like the cherry on top to make it an absolutely incredible series. And I think that's what sets shows like Karuhana and Origairu. It doesn't need that romance plot to be an incredible story. It's great outside of that. And to me, this is like, if I had to compare, this is like the popular romance. I'm so glad that it's become so popular. You know, Cloverworks did an incredible job with this show. It's absolutely beautiful, and it does the manga so much justice. Because, you know, the manga has some of the most beautiful art I've seen in manga too. And I was wondering, can the anime live up to it? And when I saw that Cloverworks was animating it, I was
like,
so
we're
excited.
In good hands, baby.
Yeah. I was so excited. And they fucking did it well. There were certain scenes that I remember, as you said, from the manga, that, oh my god, it's so satisfying so much in anime form. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. That's my take on it. I fucking love this show.
Yeah. I, like, the moment when watching the anime that, because it's such a good adaptation, it really managed to elevate a lot of scenes from the manga. One scene that I feel like it elevated quite a lot was the scene where Subaru talks to Karuko in the park. Like, the camera angles they use for that scene in the adaptation they look fucking phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best animated episode of the entire show, animation-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can agree with that.
In terms of individual moments, though, the moment, because despite always being a manga reader for Kaoru Hana, I was never like a true glazer of the series the way you were, until watching the adaptation. I watched the episode where Reintaro's mother talked about how he was giving up on life, and how his friendships, and then later on his romance, which allowed him to bolster his friendship even farther, allowed him to really find a new lease on life that has gone on to positively impact the other people in his life as well. And like, I fucking cried. I actually fucking cried. Yeah.
Same.
Such a beautiful fucking episode. That one episode is genuinely a contender for best episode of the year, honestly.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot of talk of realism in anime. Like, I've seen people's gripe of Bocchi the Rock, to give an example, being that it's not realistic. It's not a realistic portrayal of social anxiety. That's not how anyone actually feels. And I think Karuhana is slightly exaggerated to an extent. So obviously, like, what's it called? Rintaro being tall and stuff, and people being scared of him for it. Of course, that's definitely a thing that probably happens in Japan a lot more because, you know, people are shorter in general. But I think Rintaro's struggle is very realistic. You know, I think what he's gone through and how he's grown from it. And it's realistic because the thing is, you see Rintaro's friend group, his family and everything. And it makes you think, yeah, I can see him getting through that struggle, all that struggle and that giving up he's been going through. Because of that friend group, I can see, yeah, they're the ones who gave him that new lease on life. You know, I can see that happening. Even if we don't see it ourselves in the anime, I can picture it happening. And I think that adds to the realism so much that even stuff that isn't even shown in the anime, you can imagine it happening.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, Kaoru Hana's peak. One of my favorite romance of all times, and is my personal pick for best romance of the year. It's not even a competition, honestly. We Oh, nice. One that won't take forever for me to talk about. Dandadan Season 2 is more of the same. I kind of talked about everything that makes it good already. It is very fun, and that is pretty much all that Dandadan amounts to me. It's very funny, the animation is fucking great, the characters are extremely entertaining, the character development that does exist is done very competently. It's just a good time, right? It's such a good time, and it's such a unique vibe compared to a lot of other anime. I really like Dandadan. I already said anything that I wanted to say specifically about it in my last video for the summer season, so I'm not going to elaborate much. Dandadan good. That's kind of all that amounts to. Yo, the Konosuba Season 3 OVA. Of course, I'm the biggest Konosuba glazer you will probably ever meet. I think Konosuba is a fucking masterpiece. Like, up here level masterpiece. Like, but this is also an OVA. So this is as high as I can realistically put it. That said, out of all the Konosuba OVAs that exist, this is probably my favorite of the OVAs, which has a lot, because Konosuba has strong OVAs. Like, these two episodes are fucking hilarious. The first one sees characters fighting off like this like water goddess because they want to see like all the girls get stripped down by her. It's one of those. There's another Konosuba episode that is haha horny equals funny, right? Which I have the sense of humor. That is my sense of humor, right? So I also think that haha horny equals funny. Therefore, I thought the episode was fucking goated when it came to comedy. And then the second episode sees a team of impersonators, right? Who, unlike the main cast, who are all a bunch of horrible assholes, right? These people are like all very upstanding citizens, and like the level of fucking comedy that comes in from this conflict is so fucking good. Both of the OVA episodes are just amazing. Just some of the Konosuba's fucking fantastic in general. Because I think it does a really good job at blending in the comedy with genuinely good character development and deeper moments. These two episodes, though, are just dumb fun. They are very, very funny. Not much else to talk about, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yo, more plasma yapping.
I'm not gonna talk too much because, you know, we've been here for a while. So I don't want to keep the video too long, and I've talked about this one before. It's, again, more of the same, just like how you talked about Dandadan Season 2. Mm-hmm. More of the same. Amazing. Very fun. Nice story. S-, I'd say.
Alright.
I'll give it S+, actually. Yeah, S+. It's like a lower S+, kind of. So, yeah. Dr. Stone, very good. Not going to spoil anything. I just want to put it there. Just, that's enough.
Fair. Yes, slime genocide slice of life. We love to see it. I really like the first season of Slime Genocide. That's just what I'm gonna call it, by the way.
Okay.
First season was very cute. The main character gets isekai'd. She has a very simple and relaxing life, and she influences all these other characters through putting her into that simple life. Like, despite being the strongest character in the world, she doesn't care about her strength, which leads to her being able to influence all these other characters who do care about their strength a lot, and being able to show them why there's other aspects of life that are so beautiful. For one season of content, that makes for a very solid first season. Second season, it feels like it's overstaying its welcome, unfortunately. It's decent enough, yeah, it's definitely not as strong. Now, is there anything for me to talk about specifically about why Season 2 isn't as good? No, because it is literally more of the same, but more of the same is just not good enough, honestly. unfortunate downgrade over the first season, in my opinion.
Mm.
We... Buff Santa, baby! Buff Santa! I really, really like Sanda. Alright, there it is. Sanda is so much fucking fun. I think I'd put it here. Sanda's very strong. Like, for me, this is, so it's written by the same author that wrote Beastars, which is not a surprise when you find out when you realize how fucking weird the premise is, right? I don't think we have any F tiers, so I'm just gonna delete that.
Yeah,
I'll delete TPR now too, because we can actually see
yeah.
the tiers.
Yeah. Now every tier is full. That's good.
Yep. Yeah, like, so the idea of Sanda is that the main character, when he wears red, can transform into a big buff version of Santa that beats people up, right? It's a fucking dumb idea for a story, but it's executed really well. Of course, from an animation perspective, it's done by Science Saru, same studio behind Dandadan. So, like, no shit, it looks fantastic, right? Like,
yeah,
very beautiful show, very stylized show. And I love Beastars adaptation. However, one of my main issues with it is that it doesn't capture the manga's art style very well. Sanda is the first time we've gotten to see a faithful adaptation of Paru Itagaki's super unique looking art style, and it's so much fun to see. Like, and it's executed so well too. Oh man, I really, really liked how it looks. Yeah, so then another really big strength of Sanda, for me, is the fact that that ends up getting the Santa being a thing. Buff Santa ends up being an idea that's used for genuinely interesting and deep themes, like so it takes place. So the world exists as a critique of the aging crisis in Japan, where the population is at a severe decline. Children are seen as the most important things in the world, while adults are kind of shafted. So puberty is prevented for as long as possible in this universe. So these characters are like at the end of middle school, right? And they still haven't hit puberty yet. So the main character, he's able to, when he unlocks his Santa powers, he ends up realizing just how messed up the world is. Like, students had to wear these boots that prevent them from running, for example. There's just like a whole lot of control going on, like it's like arranged marriages and stuff too. And the main villain is the school principal, who is like this guy in his 90s who has undergone insane amounts of plastic surgery in order to maintain his youth.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so one thing that I think too is that this is a shonen, which means that the fight scenes are really well done too. Because Santa is immortal, right? But the reason why it's still interesting is because if Sanda's identity as Santa ever gets caught, then his main weakness gets found, and that can be taken advantage of extremely easily, which still leaves an enormous target on his back. And that's the reason why this is more of like a suspenseful thriller type of show, as opposed to a more traditional battle shonen. Because that's the way that it uses its battles. It uses its fights as a means to build up suspense as opposed to building up hype. So a lot of the show sort of tackles them figuring out the conspiracy surrounding all of this. And then there's also just general... and then it also just works generally as a coming-of-age story. The main character, he's not allowed to have romances with anyone else anymore, because if Santa kisses a child or falls in love with a child, then he'll die. He'd just, like, actually die.
What? What do you mean Santa falling in love with it? Why is Santa Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, like the main character, despite being able to turn into Santa, right? He still has the mind of a 14-year-old boy, right? So that's it. So that's like an actual struggle that he has to face throughout the story that creates a lot of stakes. Because like we all know what it's like to be a boy around that age. You want to fall in love, right?
You say you know what it's like to like kids.
I'm not gonna say that ever. So then the other girl that he's tagged with, Fuyumura, she's like this 6 foot tall woman who doesn't really feel like she has a place that she belongs in this world. She feels neither like kid or adult or like a boy or a girl, which creates a lot of interesting concepts of identity surrounding her that I think are executed on really well. She has a romance with this other girl who's into her, but at the same time, Fuyumura is unwilling to properly commit to these feelings because despite the fact that she has the appearance of someone who's older, she has more of a childlike spirit than any other character in the cast. Which that immaturity is largely what allows that conflict to start to begin with. That allows Sanda to start questioning the restrictive dystopian society that he's become a part of. It's a really good show. Like, honestly, I was not expecting this buff Santa show to be as good as it is, but Haru Itagaki is also just a goated mangaka, so like I should have expected it to be peak. Anyway, we'll... Yowie! Wait, for some reason it didn't... There we go, now it's off. I'm so tired. So, this is the third movie in a series of... So, Given is a season... has one season and then 3 movies afterward. The first movie focuses on a side romance between the 2 other characters in the main cast. The second movie focuses more on being a stepping stone for the third movie, which the third movie feels like kind of feels like the end of the prologue in a sense, where the main character's romance finally gets to be really settled out. The first part of the movie is a little on the boring end because of the fact that the main character Ue no Yama has put in like a shitload of effort in the last movie to making a song that Mafuyu can really grow attached to, but Mafuyu is scared to attend the concert because he's scared of how it'll change their relationship, which is also a very similar conflict about him being indecisive about getting into music to begin with in the first season. So it just kind of feels like a retread, and it's just like, oh my god, just get this shit over with, is what I was feeling like for the first part of the movie. But then the moment comes where Ue no Yama sings his song to Mafuyu, and it is a fantastic scene. Like, it is such a good scene. It's the conclusion to all the build-up from all the prior movies in the first season, all put into such a fantastic package. And there's still 25 minutes left of the movie afterward. Oh my god! I can't... Because, like, it's hard enough to process such a big emotional climax, and then having to deal with what feels like epilogue shit afterward, which, like, I know is important for when the next adaptation comes out, but, like, I'm, like, already emotionally spent. I don't want to... This is, like, bottom of B- tier for me. I have mixed feelings on Given in general, where I'm like, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's really not for me, which, like, no shit, it wasn't going to be for me. I'm a straight man. Yaoi weren't made for straight men, but for what it is, I do think it's a solid enough movie.
I mean, you can appreciate yaoi when you're straight, man.
True, I mean, that's why it's in the B- tier. I did like it. Anyway, Hikaru is so good. Like, the summer Hikaru died is really, really good. I actually picked it up because my brother, of all people, recommended it to me. He is a manga reader. I don't know how high I would put it on my personal ranking. I think I would put it here. If you couldn't tell, Sakamoto Days is kind of like a low A for me, but it's still A for me. So the idea for the summer Hikaru died is really interesting. So the main what was it? Main character, Ishiki, he ends up deducing that his best friend Hikaru is dead, and that his body has been taken over by a parasite who has all of the same exact memories, mannerisms, and personality as him, but can't understand human emotions.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, like, it's a horror show, right? The horror is largely psychological, having to deal with the fact that... Alright, now this is an aspect of the show that is not confirmed, but I am, like, fairly convinced that Yoshiki is gay, and that this show is gonna become a yaoi. Like, it could... I could be spouting nonsense, but I feel like it's gonna go that route. And if it does, genuinely the best written yaoi I've ever seen. Like, really, because like the way that Yoshiki responds to this grief is distinctly different than every single character in the main cast, because he is someone who just. He's someone who struggles with the idea of knowing that Hikaru is gone, but because I'm convinced that he loves Hikaru, although he never says it outright, but because I'm pretty sure he loves Hikaru, he can't bring himself to want him to say goodbye to him, so he accepts this parasite as him, despite the fact that he knows that this parasite is responsible for various murders throughout the series. And it's crazy too, because every time someone else in the cast learns that Hikaru is now this parasite, they have the expected reaction of, oh my fucking god. They grieve like a normal person does. They feel horror like a normal person does. Yoshiki, however, continues to cope and use this parasite as a coping mechanism. Like, Yoshiki is one of the most well-written characters of this entire year, entirely because this entire series is focused on delving into his psychology. It is so fucking fascinating. And like, toward the second half, too, one thing I found really interesting is that they start trying to humanize Hikaru more by showing that, through showing the struggle of, even though he doesn't really know these human feelings and emotions very well, that he is starting to get attached to this version of Yoshiki. And honestly, I still have no idea whether or not this is a manipulation tactic on Hikaru's end or not, or if he's being genuine with it, which means that even though the horror element kind of stops being as prevalent throughout after the first half, it still does exist somewhere in the background, as you have these questioning thoughts of, is Hikaru actually going to do something bad to Yoshiki or not? Really, really good show. It sucks that I couldn't pick it up when it was airing, because those cliffhangers probably would have driven me mad if I was watching it while it was airing. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to pick it up afterward. Fantastic show. Definitely recommend it for anyone who's into suspense or horror stuff. Even people who are into yaoi, because even though this is not explicitly a yaoi, it's basically a yaoi.
Alright.
Anyway, next up. Yes, I finally get to talk about it. There's nothing specific for me to talk about with Tatsuki Fujimoto 1726, because then I would be talking about 8 different stories at once. I don't want to do that, but I love the work that Tatsuki Fujimoto puts in, how weird and wonderfully wacky his works are. This is an easy S- for me. I fucking love Fujimoto as a mangaka, and seeing his one shots be adapted with such a level of fucking grace. It's amazing. I really liked it. I hate that I don't have anything more to elaborate with this one. My throat just hurts too fucking much. Anyway, next up.
Yeah, I'll try and be quick because I'm tired of shit.
100 Girlfriend Season 2. Thankfully, this one will be a lot. I don't have a ton to talk about with this one. One of the funniest fucking comedies I've ever seen. So S- just for that alone. It is so fucking funny. I do feel like the second season is a little weaker than the first season. Like, the jokes aren't as consistently strong, and and in terms of like being a proper romance, any like actually good romance moments are a lot more rare now because they're simply juggling way too many fucking characters at this point. While season 1 was able to sit more on like actual romance moments a bit more. That's not really as much of a thing with season 2, but it's still like the goat of making me laugh. So yeah, S- it is. Ah yes, Isekai slop.
Yeah, it's just Isekai slop, to be honest. I fucking put it in detail, move on, because I don't even remember anything that happened in just fucking head.
Damn, I love how the D tier is literally just Isekai.
Yeah, it's so bad. Oh, put Shield Hero in C- because yeah, it was disappointing, but it wasn't as bad as those two.
Got it. Ruri Rocks, or Ruri no Hoseki. I found it disappointing in the sense that, like, as a slice of life, it's just kind of decent. Most of it is learning about like minerals and shit, which it does a good job at. I just don't really care about minerals and shit. So I ended up dropping it. However, the animation is very good. It does do a good job at what it seeks out to do. It just wasn't for me. So I'm not going to put it lower than C+, but yeah, it wasn't my thing.
Home stretch. 8 left.
Alright. Alma-chan Wants a Family. This one did air this season, so I will try to talk about it a little bit more.
Isn't that... Never mind.
Yes, I thought it was decent. I would put it just below Spy Family, because plot is very similar to Spy Family. It is a found family story. Main two characters are scientists who are both tsunderes. Dual tsundere romance is always the GOAT.
What's this, what's it called? Kaguya-sama, sequel.
Yeah, and the main characters aren't really, like, competing with each other the same way they do in Kaguya-sama.
Yeah, but Kaguya-sama is just two tsunderes competing with each other. Let's
True,
be real.
yes. I love me dual tsundere action. And then so these two scientists create a robot daughter. The daughter calls them mom and dad, even though they insist on not liking each other, right? She still calls them mom and dad. That shit's fucking adorable. It's so fucking wholesome. And she ends up so they end up building this family. It's really sweet. It's really wholesome. It's very cute. The jokes they have are funny enough, but you're mainly just watching it because it's cute. Not much more. In terms of like issues I have with it, there's not a lot of progression really happens, which I wasn't really expecting much, but I don't know, I don't even think we really got a whole lot of breadcrumbs even. If I was binging it, I definitely wouldn't have enjoyed it nearly as much as I did watching it weekly. The another big sticking point for me is that the animation is like noticeably bad, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, I was checking through some screenshots of the manga too, and the manga has a genuinely unique look. The anime just does not capture it at all. Otherwise, I thought it was really cute and really fun. There's not a whole lot else for me to really go into it with it. It's just robot daughter calling her tsundere parents, her parents, is very cute, and not much more.
Yeah.
It's like mostly sequels now. What?
Yeah.
Alright, the first of our Season 2 club is Call of the Night Season 2. I am a huge fan of Call of the Night. First season is very much a vibes show. Season 1 is just a vibes show. Season 2, meanwhile, actually gets into a lot of really cool stuff related to what was established as its main villain, and gave her a really interesting arc in the second season. Along with that, it's still a production marvel. The show looks great. I really hope we get a season 3 because, in my opinion, the following arcs of the manga, despite being a little bit more controversial among the community, I think is when the show gets into its best content. So I'm really, really hoping that shit gets adapted. Yeah. Again, not a whole lot more for me to add. Vibes are great. The plot itself is great. I really like Call of the Night. Also, the OP fucking slaps and it looks beautiful. Like, holy shit, Creepy Nuts cooked. MDUDDERS! Me in the chat love MDUDDERS. For me, I would put this in my A+. I don't know about you, though.
I'd say A+, yeah.
Yeah, I think
A+ or S-, so
yeah.
I'm good with A+.
I really loved MDUDDERS. There's just so much to talk about with this one. We talked about it very extensively in our last video, so I'll just go for our cliff notes. Animation saw a huge upgrade in terms of like plot and themes. I think that it expands on what the first season was trying to do quite a lot, and was able to do so successfully. Gojo's character development is done very well, and this is the first season where we actually get to explore the side cast quite a bit. Alma is probably my favorite of the side cast. He's great. I really liked Akira too. Season 2 is also so goated that they even turned the more underwhelming characters of Season 1 into really good characters. Juju's character arc in Season 2 was genuinely really, really well handled, compared to Season 1 where I thought she was just kind of whatever. Yeah, good shit. This is my second favorite romance of the year. Like, they really, really nailed this one. Like,
yeah,
so much better than I was expecting it to be.
I don't want to say too much. I think the story is going in a very smart and well done direction, which is something that could be difficult sometimes, especially for romance shows. I think this anime is a very big indicator of how amazing Cloverworks has come in a quite short amount of time, how much they've kind of developed. Honestly, Cloverworks has better character development than Sung Jin-woo.
Yeah.
So yeah, good romance.
Yeah, like I'd say that with the exception of Bocchi the Rock, which I think is by far the best thing that Cloverworks has made visually, MDUDDERS comes in second.
I'm putting Kaoru Hana second, but fair enough.
Yeah, Kaoru Hana has some really good moments, but I think that generally from a consistency standpoint, especially that first fucking episode, holy shit.
Okay, fair enough. I think I'm just a glaze. I think I'm just a glaze.
True. Honestly, my main thought until Kaoru Hana started getting into its really, really good looking scenes later on was, wow, I wish it looked as good as MDUDDERS. That was what I was thinking most of the time.
I'm still confused as to why you're saying MDUDDERS.
Oh, it's a joke in a server I'm in.
Oh, okay.
I think that MDUDDERS sounds fucking hilarious, and that's the reason why I'm saying it.
No, I didn't say anything because it sounded hilarious. I'm so confused.
Anyway, now that we've done MDUDDERS, next up on the list. Ah,
I don't know
yes.
how this has happened, but you watched like 3 times more than me, but the final 4 is literally like half me, half you.
I don't know how that happened. Oh, yeah. I'm a huge fan of Aharen-san. I would put it in the bottom of my A-, because realistically, I should not be putting Aharen-san this high at all. But vibes-wise, it just does it for me. It's the sense of humor is really good. So the season 1 ended with a confession scene, so season 2 actually sees them as a couple now, and they're so cute together. The season 2 just felt like the really rewarding result of the build-up that season 1 had, and like, yeah, it's just nice. I liked it a lot. I had a big dumb smile on my face the whole time. It's so wholesome. Like, this is how you do fluff romance. Anyway, next up. I could have talked about it more too, but yeah, I'm like, I need to eat lunch so bad. To Be Hero X, which I am putting it in my S-. I think I'd actually put it at the top of my S-, honestly. It's so good. Wow. Best Danma of the year, easily. Like, it is some of the most clever writing I've ever seen, and for me to even start explaining how good it really gets, I would have to talk about it and do like a plot summary for like 10 fucking minutes. I'm not gonna bother doing that, so just watch it for yourself. It's peak.
Yeah, or just watch the other video that.
True, because I did talk about it extensively in both the spring and the summer video. Because it's a 2-core show. Okay, so I guess
season.
Windbreaker season 2. Low. I don't know where I'd.
I saw you hover at that C plus, and I always beat your ass.
Nah, I love Windbreaker. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in terms of placement, I think I don't know if I put it above Dandadan. I think it is as the highest I would put the highest rank A-.
Actually, I'm saying A plus, like top of A plus.
Yeah, so I guess we'll.
But we can leave it in. We can. Okay.
Our A plus needs to be bigger anyway, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk first. I talked about the show a lot in the season review that we did. So if you want to hear about it more extensively, then I recommend that video. But to keep it brief, Sakura is an incredibly well-written character. More of what we saw in season 1 being absolutely amazing. As a reader, so what was it, like 6 months ago, ish? I went over this and I said you should definitely read the manga. It gets even better. I can say with absolute confidence that, you know, when I said it gets even better, well, right now it gets even better than the even better I said 6 months ago. This story keeps leveling up the more I read it, which honestly, it might sound weird, but it actually feels natural because I love these characters so much that seeing them develop, the more they develop, the more excited I get to read more, because I can see the potential in this story, and the fact that it keeps getting fulfilled makes me think, yeah, it can actually get better. It can keep getting better. And yeah, it does. It's fucking incredible. Just the story arc Sakura goes through of him, you know, turning from a pretty cynical guy, kind of like Hachiman if he knew how to throw bare hands,
and a tsundere,
to someone, yeah, to someone who is incredibly compassionate. And oh my god, it's so lovely just to see. And Sakura is the definition of a character you root for. You always want him to do better and better, and he does. So, and it's not without its challenges. Don't get me wrong. It only happens through immense challenge and suffering he goes through. So, yeah, honestly, and to anyone who says that this is just a discount Tokyo Revengers,
it's better than Tokyo Revengers.
I haven't seen Tokyo Revengers, but even reading the synopsis, like, this seems different. So
they are pretty different.
Honestly, I highly recommend watching the show, and if you like watching the show, read it, because The art is very nice. There's some incredible panels in this show. So yeah, read it. It's great.
And then and then for me to talk more about like why I enjoyed season 2 particularly, because I haven't read the manga. I will eventually, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed season 2. I found it to be a very logical next step. Sakura keeps on getting his character arc developed, which happens slowly but surely. And I like how respectfully that character development is treated and handled throughout the show. And then one thing that I really liked about season 2 in particular is that fuck, I can't remember his name, the blonde dude, who's also in the main cast.
Nire?
Yeah, Nire, yeah, him. Yeah, I like season 2 is where his character arc starts to really come in together. He starts learning some basic combat moves, which shows that despite the fact that he is scared, despite the fact that he isn't very knowledgeable on how to fight himself, that because of course season 1 he was still useful because of the fact that he knew so much information about everyone, right? But in season 2 you get to really see him come into his own as a fighter himself, which is what he's always wanted to be, right? And see, this is the reason why a character like Nire I find to be very well written, while someone like Zenitsu from Demon Slayer to be the most obnoxious piece of shit imaginable, because Zenitsu is just scared because funny, while Nire is scared for pretty sensible reasons, of course, but despite the fact that he is scared, he still fights, and he still has the drive in order to protect the people that he cares about, which, like, his character arc is, I think, was another real highlight for season 2 for me, outside of course, Sakura is a character who I want to make a video about him eventually. He is that well written of a character, genuinely so good.
To add more to what you said about Nire, I promise I'll be quick. I think we see that since the start, that he has that drive. It's how we meet him. He's trying to defend someone, even though he knows he can't fucking fight. And in reality, to me, it seems like that was his point. They ended up fighting him instead of the woman who he was trying to save. And he has that drive throughout the whole show. And the thing is, one thing we never saw is any of these characters learning how to fight. We all saw them knowing how to fight from the start. But Nero, we see him learn, and we see that it's not easy. It's very difficult, you know. And I think even Nero's development makes me have so much more respect than for the other characters, because you can see they put in that work. Nero did too. They all can fight because they put the work in, and I think it's a beautiful story, to be honest. So it's funny how a story about fighting can be so beautiful to me, but it is.
It really is. I think in terms of any battle story I've seen, Windbreaker really nails that sense of beauty. I think because of the fact that it's so grounded in the real world through its delinquent battles as opposed to any like supernatural shit, allows it to really hone in on that even more than it would already.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see which of these two generic isekai you'll talk about next.
For fuck's sake, okay. This one's actually pretty good. I want to get the shit out of the way because it's a really anticlimactic ending. So that one is like, I'd say B minus. B minus.
Oh, low or high B minus?
Yeah, no. It's an not interesting, entertaining story. Guy who knows how to cook pretty damn well. Befriends magical, like very, very strong magical beasts, and cooks for them. Makes very good-looking food. Makes me hungry all the fucking time. But it's a lot of fun. The character interactions are very funny. But like at the end of the day, it's not got much of substance to its story. It's just moderately funny. Relaxing isekai, so yeah, B minus. And the other one you can put in fucking detail.
It's that bad.
That shit is absolute ass. I don't remember anything about it except the main character's like an idiot, and he's got a memory loss or something, and like what he thinks is normal is actually like incredibly strong. But yeah, that's it. I'm done with fucking yapping. We've done it for too long.
Oh yeah, how long did this video end up being? Of course, it's over 3 hours long. God
Yeah,
fucking
of
damn
course
it.
it is.
All right, so plug the Patreon, baby. I have four different tiers. Yes, the shadow tier, no benefits, just financial support from me. Phantom tier, which gives you access to the Patreon roll call, Discord server, early scripts, scrapped ideas, video suggestions. Confidant tier, which gives you access to early videos, exclusive videos, unlisted videos. God tier, which gives you access to my Google Drive full of horse penis and horse penis and horse penis, while my top patron
I can confirm.
gives you access to custom roll color for the Discord server and for Patreon roll calls. And because I consistently forget to keep doing the Patreon roll calls throughout these videos, I want to give a big thank you to my Confidant tier patrons, Regimania and Eternum. Thank you very much for your consistent financial support of my videos. It means a lot. And that is our tier list. How much do you agree with? How much do you disagree with? How much do you want to kill us over your disagreements with us? Guys, Solo Lovely is actually like SS tier.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. We both very much appreciate you guys watching. It's a lot of fun to do these, so yeah.
And then eventually we'll do the OP and ED video. I don't know when that'll be.
Yeah.
It'll be
I don't know
eventually.
either. Yeah.
Horsecock.